How about now? How's that? Is that working? Oh, okay, good. Glad to hear that. I can't tell. I don't know if it's any good audio, but here we are. I'm still kind of testing and figuring all this stuff out, so just bear with me here. If you guys have any questions, though, just let me know. Drop it in the chat there. I'm going to move some of this stuff around. Sounds crisp. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate that. Hey, I just watched your live stream you had with. Were you on Drew's channel like 6 months ago or something like that? I just watched that like last night. That was really cool. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Yeah, I've got the trying to get the chat on the screen so you guys can see it. Oh, okay. I guess it is. Maybe I need to move it up or something. See how that works. Drew's exploding. Yeah, the whole vegan, ex-vegan thing and carnivore. It's pretty crazy. It's really entertaining to watch, though. Okay, there we go. What can we do if we are allergic to seafood and hate other meat? Um, I mean, I wish that I could say there was an easy fix. It's really not. It's kind of an emotional thing. You just kind of get past that. You gotta really understand that meat heals, like some plant foods. I won't get into that too much, but you kind of have to do what is right for yourself, whether you enjoy it or not. It's like, how do I put it nicely? It's like people that push people into eating broccoli or greens or whatever. You gotta eat your meat. Obviously, if you're allergic to seafood, don't eat it. I have things that I can't tolerate, and I'm not going to be eating those things. Mainly plant foods, unfortunately. I've been in here for like an hour and a half trying to figure this stuff out. You'd think it wouldn't be this complicated. All right, I need to start reading all your posts here. Ex-vegan here, went keto, then keto carnivore for a while, just to heal my gut. A Waldron, yeah. A lot of people have to do that after a vegan diet. It's just so nutrient deficient, and I mean, that's what you got to do. I don't feel like everyone should have to go carnivore. I'm all for that if that's what you want to do. But I really do recommend that people do it temporarily because, your gut microbiome is just it's a complicated thing, and I don't really think anybody really understands it, especially how it affects our overall health, like long term. So I don't want to be that guy. Like I feel like there's all these carnivores, and they are the most entertaining people in the world. I love you guys, but it's like I see you guys have a similar mindset that the vegans do. It's like not necessarily based on ethical, but you want to cut out all those foods and you think they're harming you. But I don't think all plant foods are evil inherently, that they're bad for us. It's just that, we have so much damage done that some of us have to basically cut out most of those foods. But I don't want to connect it to a belief system that all plants are, they're toxic basically. Obviously, if you guys know me at all, you watch any of my videos, I'm strict paleo. Like I hate the grains, all grains, basically anything from a seed. All grains are seeds, and those are going to be the most toxic and harmful to our gut and cause leaky gut. So you want to stay away from those things. Not much room to hate foods when it comes to life and death. I was vegan before AIP. It's not easy to adapt, but it's life versus death. We got to be flexible. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I hadn't have been so messed up, my autoimmune health, I wouldn't have done strict AIP. I mean, I did a year on paleo, and it took me a long time to learn how to do that, just to stay strict and, get over my food addiction. So it takes time. And I cheated at first, the first 6 months to, well, all of paleo, basically, I was eating regular foods. I was especially still drinking alcohol, but I had to give all that up. So I just, you get too messed up, and you get to a point where you're like, it's just not worth it anymore. I just wish the carnivores would talk more about, taking away specific foods than all plant foods. There are a few good ones that are doing that, and will recognize some plant foods as beneficial, especially for the gut microbiome. I'll talk more about that another time, but I'm not exactly the expert in it or anything, so I don't really want to go off on that. I just feel like AIP is kind of my thing, so I want to do these AIP Q&As. So if you guys have any questions about AIP in general, I'm totally your guy here. But the sound is great. You're doing great. Hey, thanks. Kathy, appreciate it. I recognize a lot of you from your comments in the video, so I really appreciate that everybody sticking with us here. We'll get better as we go. This is my first time here. Hydronova Hayes, I hate having to handle the dead animals. That's all I can think of when I'm cooking and eating it, but I don't feel like I have a choice. Yeah, I have a similar thing with like baby animals, like lamb or anything like that. I don't really want to eat those. I think most intelligent creatures have a thing against eating cute things. I don't know. It's just an instinct, I think. And maybe that's ingrained in us for a reason. Maybe so we could learn to domesticate certain animals, or, you know what I mean? It's like, what good does it do to eat a baby animal, right? If we had cows, we wouldn't want to raise them so we could have them long term. There's a lot of complicated things that go along with that. I don't think it's so simple as just eating meat, not. This is going to be fun. I'm going to ramble a lot, you guys, so I'm going to try to catch myself, though. In the videos, I can at least edit it out. Waldron, I've been strictly carnivore for just over a month. Am doing it for 3 months and then start to reintroduce them. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I'm probably not going to suggest doing carnivore for more than 30 days just because I'm not sure how long it takes for those enzymes to go away. It's like when you're eating plant foods, basically you have the enzymes that you need to break down those foods. It takes a while to lose those if you stop eating them, and I'm not sure exactly how long that is, but that would play a role in what I would suggest. Definitely no longer than 90 days though. So yeah, 3 months. If you go a long time without plant foods and you go to reintroduce those again, you're gonna have issues. Like, you may not have the same symptoms like autoimmune flares and things that you had in the when you were, say, vegan, but you're gonna have a bad time regardless. Like some people have a hard time reintroducing like collagen or things like that because they can be hard on the gut to digest, but you got to introduce a little bit at a time and kind of, take your time when you do, okay? Just don't think that those foods are like harming you necessarily when you do introduce them. And if you do have a little bit of, let's say, gas or digestive issues at all, just give it some time. Don't be so cut and dry with it, okay? My mouth is crazy dry doing this. It's kind of warm in here too. I've got all my lights on and everything. Hydronova, Hayes, especially organ meat. Yeah, organ meat, it seems like most people have a hard time with eating organ meats. I get it. I did too. But actually, here, I'll show you what I got. I've got this grass-fed beef. Actually, it's beef and brain. from Ancestral Supplements, and this is just a really good pill. It's super expensive. I think it's like $50. To me, that's a lot, but it'll last me like 6 months, so I guess it's not too terrible. But you can get just the regular liver one. I think it's $30, so it's almost half the price. I do have these in my Amazon shop in the description of most of my videos. Probably not this one. I didn't set that up, but you can check that out, or just go to Amazon and check it out. I'm not sure if Walmart carries anything like this, but it's pretty good because I'm terrified of pills or medications or anything like that. I'm probably a little bit paranoid, but for good reason, right? I think you guys understand that. And the capsules here are just made from grass-fed gelatin. Yeah, gelatin, exactly. So you don't get any of the fillers, binders. I've heard a lot of people are intolerant to like silica, and a lot of that's in those pills. So just be careful. It depends on the person again too. But that's Ancestral Supplements, pretty good brand. I'm super sensitive, hypersensitive, and these don't bother me in the least bit. And I am seeing good results using these. I have a few supplements that I use, but that's one of my favorites. I wish it was cheaper though, you know. You can get what is it? Desiccated liver. You know, I haven't tried that, but a lot of people do that. You know, just get it in any way you can. Hydronova Haze, can you explain more about that? The grain thing. Grains are just full of what is it? Phytates and different anti-nutrients that lead to, you know, intestinal permeability. They will basically get past your gut lining and cause irritation, and your body will see it as a foreign invader before certain enzymes are able to basically deactivate it in your digestive system. So you want to make sure you aren't eating foods like legumes, grains, seeds, nuts, if you have autoimmune disease. If you don't have autoimmune disease, it'd probably be a good idea not to eat grains and legumes in the least. At least keep it strict paleo. You're probably not going to have an issue with that. I mean, look at the vegans. You know, they can still live up to 20 years, 30 years being vegan, not healthy, but they're not dead, right? So, you know, there are some nutrients in plant foods that we're absorbing. Obviously not as bioavailable as meat, but just got to keep it clean. You just got to stay away from those unpaleo foods. Dairy is a sort of a complicated issue. I'm in between with that, but I'll talk about that sometime if anybody's curious. Gut gains, maybe, just maybe. I'm experimenting with plant foods, but don't tell the carnivores. Going to work, Adam. Good to see your face. Happy streaming. Hey, thanks, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I think Mitch is a cop. I think he was training to be a cop earlier, so hopefully he made it in if that's what he wants to do. I did a collab with Gut Gains Mitch probably about 6 months ago. I think around the time he did the Drew one, and I didn't even see it back then. I wish I had. That would have been really cool. But yeah, didn't get to that. We ate some raw liver on the stream, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. A lot of fun. Probably a little disgusting for most people, but actually, I plan to do more things like that in the future. Eating things that most people wouldn't eat. It doesn't really bother me. I've gotten over that. Used to, but it doesn't anymore. Surviving Hashimoto's. Speaking of gut health, do you take any prebiotics, probiotics? Technically, yeah, but it's not in the form of like a pill or anything. It's not like supplementation. Anytime, let's say inulin fiber from like coconut would be a prebiotic. It would feed your good probiotic bacteria in your gut. So yeah, you could eat coconut. That would be a good thing to do if you can tolerate it. I would say it's with AIP, it's almost 50-50 because collagen, coconut, things like that, they're hard to digest for some. It depends on the damage done, and it depends on the person, but some people just can't tolerate it, and it could be an enzyme issue as well. People that aren't used to eating coconut, it's just a harder food, I guess. Anyway, and it could be the I can't pronounce anything. You guys know this. Salicitates. I think that's it. But yeah, I definitely recommend coconut if you tolerate it. and again, maybe other resistant starches like sweet potato. I eat that every day, pretty much. Sometimes I go a few days without it. I don't have to have it, but I enjoy it. Um, you gotta heat it up and then let it cool down to create those resistant starches. Unless you're eating it raw, then you're gonna get it. But yeah, I do that sometimes too. I feel like it's just I feel really hydrated when I eat like a raw vegetable that I can tolerate. Most I can't at all, but sweet potato, it goes well with my body, I guess. We're all a little different. Speaking, hey, back to Hydronova Hayes. I went AIP cold turkey after being diagnosed HS and cleared up within 2 weeks. Hey, that's awesome. Congrats on that. Yeah, AIP works if you go strict. I really hate being that guy like, oh, you just weren't strict enough, Like that's what the vegans tell each other. Like, oh, you weren't a real vegan, you just didn't go strict enough. But yeah, I mean with AIP, it's like it's not about eliminating like all foods. It's just eliminating the foods that you are intolerant to, and it's just going to be different for everybody. That's why I tell everybody like you're not going to be able to eat exactly like me necessarily, and then find remission. But start with the AIP, and then from there on, you should reduce inflammation enough to see your symptoms. And then once you're kind of with it below that threshold, once you eat a food that you are intolerant to, you should be able to see a symptom. Obviously, depending on your disease, I have HS, just like Hydronova Hayes, and so we have kind of a visual reference there. And I'm super sensitive, like I said, so it like hits me right away. It depends on the food. Like a nightshade, I'll know within the hour. Like horrible pain, and it'll last like weeks, and it's awful. So it's a good. Again, that's good motivation for me. But yeah, you got to go. I mean, you don't have to go cold turkey. The only reason I would say not to go cold turkey and go straight up AIP is for long-term success. Like a lot of people just can't handle that. Like I've got friends where they've tried and they've failed. So I keep telling them, hey, just do regular paleo like I did for a year, and try that. Try to. I'm not saying it's like a woman thing or a man thing, but like for some people, there's like emotional baggage that comes along with that, and it's harder for some people. I have to recognize that. So for me, again, pain is good motivation. I had stage 3 HS, so that's the third most painful chronic disease. So I had a good reason, and I had it pretty bad. I was like having to lay down and like be in bed like all the time. So I would just write a lot or draw or the arts. Yeah, that's awesome. Hydronova Hayes, thanks. It's changing my life. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's nice to have a life worth living, isn't it? Like I'm symptom free, and like I don't know, I'm living a dream. It's just great. I don't know. Like I can't just talk about that all the time. How awesome my life is. Like, oh hey guys, yeah, no symptoms, pretty sweet. Like I don't know, what am I? I'm like, who am I bragging to here? Like and like who would even understand? Going from the suffering to this, it's like, this. I guess this is what I do. YouTube to do that. Only way I know how to share it. Do you use collagen peptide? Yeah, I've bought the Anthony's, and I really like the Anthony's brand. It's on my Amazon shop as well. But Vital Proteins, I was just sent that one from shopaip.com for in the giveaway. And actually, the giveaway is still going live. So if you guys haven't, posted the comment in that giveaway video, make sure you do that so you have a chance to win that. Vital proteins, collagen peptides, and a bunch of other things. Oh, including coconut crunch cereal. I haven't done a review on this yet, but I'm excited for it. It's going to be great. You can only imagine, right? Paleo cereal, AIP cereal. I'm stoked. That was from Twistisha. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce names at all. Sylvia Noop or Canoop. Noop. AIP I need, but it is difficult. give an overview of an AIP day or week. Yeah, I make like what I eat in the days, and I did that video a while back, like what I ate on AIP for a year, and that seems to be pretty popular. It took off. It's still going, so pretty happy about that. It's super long. It's like 25 minutes, so it's just me rambling and going through my Instagram and showing like what I ate for an entire year, basically. That was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do another one of those next year or whatever. But yeah, or I am planning on doing like my favorite meals too. That was what the video was supposed to be when I was making it, like my favorite go-to meals, and then it kind of ended up just being a bunch of random stuff. But my favorite meals were in it, but I have more. Obviously, things have changed. It's like, you have your favorite go-tos, for a few weeks, then you go through a different phase and you're trying to cook something else. So things change. But I'm, as a minimalist, like my food is very simple. I eat like very regular foods, or like 7 to 10 safe foods that I always eat. So I don't change all that much. I just cook them a little bit differently, or intermittent fast a little bit differently. Just trying to optimize. Hydronova Haze. Anyone else find cassava or coconut flour tough on the gut? Oh yeah, guys. Those are probably gonna be tough for anyone. Honestly, cassava I had to limit. I know Stacy from Real World AIP. She just kind of figured out that cassava wasn't really her thing. I think she might have figured it out a long time ago, but she just mentioned it on her live stream a few days ago. She's at the Paleo Effects and she was live streaming for the first time, so that was fun to watch. But yeah, anything. I mean, obviously those are processed foods, so you might have a bad time with them. You gotta be careful with anything. And again, you might want to limit foods like that. You should limit processed foods anyway. I do, but I do like to make like AIP keto mug cakes at night. I don't do that every day, but I do enjoy that. It's kind of like a treat. It's a good way to fat bomb too. Kathy Mill Spa, thank you for sharing part of your Saturday with us. You're welcome. I didn't have anything else going on here in the afternoon. This morning I had, I wasn't planning on saying this, but I had a memorial service to go to for my, someone in my family passed away. So I wasn't close to them, so don't worry about that. No worry. But it was interesting morning. So I had all the family. I got to see some of my family. That was nice. A Waldron, oh man, I miss plants, but by the time I do, it will be fresh, grown in my garden, or sourced from our farmer's market. Yeah, that's a good idea. Pesticides and all that other stuff, it's a factor. It's a factor. I don't know how much of a factor it is, honestly, but you got to be careful. It's one of the reasons why I don't eat like store-bought fruit and stuff like that, because pesticides, and again the wax coating is I have a nightshade intolerance, and the wax is usually made from shellac wax. It's like a bug. It has solanine. I don't know. Anyway, it triggers me big time. So I can't just go to the store and like eat an apple or anything like that. That's usually why I stick to frozen fruit in bags. They skip the waxing process and it just goes straight to the fresh frozen and in the bag. It's probably not the most nutrient thing, but I don't have to worry about additives or chemicals or anything like that. Unless strawberries. Strawberries are pretty high in pesticides, from what I read. Man, that's hard for me to pronounce. Hydronova Haze. Did anyone here go through an anorexic, restrictive tendencies when trying to convert? I was so paranoid of getting a flare. Yeah, it's tough, and reintroducing is tough. I know. Yeah, I think we all kind of know. I'm gonna have to move my chat up, so I'm slow. I'm gonna speed up, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's tough. I know a lot of people that don't like have a lot of weight to lose. They worry about losing too much weight on AIP, and that is a factor. Honestly, you got to fat bomb. You really do. And eat fruits that you can tolerate as well, so you don't lose weight. But again, watch those natural sugars. Just be careful. A lot of trial and error. Audrey Wilkinson, how long have you been doing AIP, And have you had any luck reintroducing any foods? Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been doing AIP. I don't even know, 3 years ish, give or take, I guess. Something like that. Let's say 3 years. I'll probably correct myself in a future video. I'll do the math. It's not really my strong suit. And then I did paleo for a year before that, and I was doing keto before I even knew what keto was. So I'm kind of I kind of mastered that accidentally, but yeah. Um, I have introduced one thing that I'll talk about. I don't like talking about food reintros because I feel like as a sensitive guy, I can help people because like you guys got to start out doing the regular AIP, and showing foods that you can't eat isn't going to help you. So I feel like I want to be that basic AIP guy. But I have been able to reintroduce pastured eggs just fine. I do limit those because of histamines and things like that. Like it's not even like a flare or symptom, but I'll notice my mind just isn't as clear or something like that. I can eat like one a day and I'm totally fine though. So I don't limit at that, but it just kind of works. I put it in my mug cakes sometimes. I don't always, but I do enjoy those. And I do supplement with eggshells as well. So I just started doing that for the calcium. I'm just experimenting. I can't say if it's going to have benefits or not, so just not sure yet. I never cut out black pepper. I just don't react to it. Some people will, but I haven't used it in probably 3 months. So, but that's sort of another one. I believe those are the only two things. Black pepper, obviously, peppercorn isn't a nightshade. It's not a real pepper. It's a peppercorn, which is technically a dried berry. So. Hydronova Haze, I absolutely will not eat anything on the naughty list. Not worth it. It's toxic as far as I see it. Yeah, most of it is. And even some things that are on it are toxic as well. So many times I've wanted to, yeah, I've wanted to make my own AIP, my own diet. But guys, AIP is just the best we have. I don't really want to like create a new system. It's a lot of work, and like, who am I to do that anyway? Like, we have Sarah Ballantyne and all these other people, Rob Wolf. Like, who am I to come across it and be like, oh, let me just improve it? Like that's dumb. So I don't really want to do that. If I did, I would I would call it. I just don't want to be. I don't want to be known for that. I want to. I just want to guide people through the AIP. But I do recommend people cut out toxic fat that is in factory farm meat, like pork especially. Pork is so high in omega-6, and just I don't know how anybody takes it. I don't know if you're not in autoimmune remission yet and you eat a lot of pork, maybe try limiting that, or at least keep it very lean if you are going to do that. I think that's why all the the standard American dieter doctors are always talking about eat lean meat, lean chicken. I think they had half the story right. Like, they're like, those lean meats don't have the toxic fat in them, so those would be toxic foods. But obviously meat is more nutrient dense in almost every way, even if it is toxic. So it's like it's a catch-22 there. You just gotta figure it out. Keep it lean, but if you're eating grass-fed, obviously fattier is the better. I'll eat fat by the spoonful, animal sourced. I think that's great if you can get a good source. Kathy Millspa, how fast could we see improvement in our inflammation? It depends on the person, how much damage is done, and it just depends on your specific autoimmune disease. Like, you might see improvement in as little as like 2 weeks. I did, and tons of people tell me that, like, all the time. I get tons of messages like, hey, I've been on this for a couple weeks, I've seen huge improvements, I hope to find remission. Yeah, that's pretty normal. And you might even see full remission within a few months, like I did. Staying in remission is a whole nother story, though. I'll get into that sometime. Like, you got to figure out, like, I found remission, but I was eating like my 7 safe foods or whatever. So as soon as I started eating other foods, obviously, I rebounded out in and out of remission for like a year. But I did figure out how to stay in remission, thankfully. It was basically all the foods. You just gotta focus in trial and error. Trial and error. Super fast, Kathy. Yeah. Yep. A lot of people experience that. Fortunately, usually younger people will see super fast results, or people that just are diagnosed or just seeing symptoms. They may even be able to reintroduce regular foods, and not even have a symptom after that. But I don't feel like that's a good preventative for getting that disease, full blown, or experiencing those symptoms in the future. So I recommend at least keeping it paleo. Even if you can reintroduce grains and things like that, I don't think anybody should. Hydronova haze. I notice within weeks there's a withdrawal period that is really rough, but if you can make it through that, it will change your life and you'll look at food all different. Sorry guys, I'm looking at so many things. I'm reading so slowly. I don't usually read this slow. I work in a library, so yeah, I noticed within a few weeks. Yeah, withdrawal period. Yeah, withdrawals. Sugar is just as bad as a drug. In my eyes, sugar is a drug. It's poison. Caffeine can have similar effects. To me, it's all drugs. Anything that stimulates your system really isn't going to be good, at least for autoimmune people. If you can tolerate it, cool. I just don't recommend it, especially if you hadn't found remission. Just don't risk it, or try to get away from things like that. Infinity 8, how long it took you to get into remission? To see actual remission, like all my symptoms disappear, 3 months after I started AIP. Like paleo, I never saw remission during paleo, but I saw improvement doing paleo, but not like a miracle or anything. But 2 weeks after AIP, huge results. 3 months later, full remission. But like I said, I skipped in and out of remission for probably a year, give or take. My memory isn't that great. Never has been. Sylvia Noop or Canoop, I'm sorry. What was the name of your long video? Oh, the liver one. I've changed the title a couple times. I think it's why you should eat liver or something, or you should be eating liver in your diet, something like that, featuring gut gains. I have like 82 videos, so if you scroll down long enough, you'll see it. It's like me eating liver. Can't miss it. It's pretty disgusting, but awesome. Audrey Wilkinson. Kathy, I saw results in a week, but not completely healed yet. That's awesome, Audrey. Congrats on that. Just seeing huge improvements, I know, is great. For me, it was like night and day. Like, difference between having a miserable life and like a livable, a life worth living. Not sure everyone will understand that, but if your symptoms were pretty bad, you will. Obviously, if you're doing AIP, you have reasons to do, to be this way. Like, regular people don't do AIP, they just do paleo. They're like, oh, I want to try to get my digestion, working better or whatever. Trying to optimize, but yeah, I was just trying to survive. Hydronova haze. Have you tried the famous egg roll in a bowl? I'm curious how it is. Famous egg roll in a bowl. I think that's from Stacy, right? No. I've tried similar things. I don't know. Maybe I've tried it not thinking about it. I've had sauteed cabbage and coconut aminos, and what else would you put in that? Shrimp, maybe. Probably most people would put pork, but yeah, I'd probably put grass-fed beef. So I've had similar things, really good, but I haven't had the actual recipe. I'll have to check that out. Please talk about intermittent fasting from Sylvia. Yeah, so I'm very basic when it comes to intermittent fasting, and that's kind of because of my job. I have to eat earlier than I'd like at my job, so it's just unfortunate. I would love to do like a 6 to 4 hour window, but I'm usually about an 8 hour window. So 16/8. I fast for 16 hours, eat for 8. And that sounds like what a normal person would do. But they don't really keep track of it, so it's hard to say. Some people eat for like 12 hours normal. But yeah, you're going to see good results doing any sort of intermittent fasting. I really believe that. It's just great for everybody. Even vegans that add intermittent fasting see results. And keto and intermittent fasting. It's just great. Great for autophagy, killing off dead, damaged cells. Just awesome. I do recommend fasting, just not extended fasting if you're not used to that. That's something you need to work up to. But doing it basically 8 hours, that's great. If you can work down to 6 hours, I think that would be, not optimal, but for somebody it might be. Depends on the person. It's good for really great for weight loss. But I am trying to keep my weight loss steady, not too fast. Anytime I speed up my weight loss, like I have detox symptoms, it's just not fun. So that's that toxic fat syndrome video I made. You can watch that for more details. It's really kind of a complicated topic. I don't even fully comprehend it all. There's health is just super complicated, guys. I'm passionate about it, and I'm so amateur with it. I feel like I could just be studying it for my entire life, and I'd never master it. Infinity 8, do you think you will ever heal completely? Yeah, I think about this sometimes. Like, yeah, I mean, if I eat one of those trigger foods or a food I'm intolerant to, still, obviously, I'm going to break out. I'm going to have a flare, autoimmune symptoms. So, I mean, it could just be that our immune system is just on standby. Like, hey, man, those foods aren't for you. If you eat them, I'm going to hurt you. I mean, it's a warning system. So it could be that, or it could be that I'm still seeing damage. I don't know. But as long as I stay away from those foods and I'm careful not to get cross-contaminated, then I have no symptoms. So I live almost a normal life. But obviously I have my limits as well with like exercise and like how much I can do. So I'm like an autoimmune person as well still, Like I can't overdo it. If I exercise a lot, that'll get me every time. So you got to still watch your stress. I mean, that could be with most people, stress is going to cause issues, but you just gotta watch your limits, keep your boundaries. I don't know if I'll ever heal completely, and if I did, would I even eat regular food again? No. So it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference to me. I feel like the carnivores have something in common with that. Like they're just kind of like they're just keeping it, keeping themselves symptom free. I do want healing, so that's why I believe we need plans for that long term. Again, healing is going to depend on how much damage is done and what particular damage in what area of your body. So it could be different for other people. But I have scars, left from my autoimmune disease, visibly. I'll make a video about that someday when I'm not so self-conscious about it. That'll be a good video. I'm going to have to really mature before that one, though. I'm just not ready for it. Sorry to hear that. Thank you. Yeah, it was my half sister, my dad's first marriage, and I didn't really know her all that well. I've known her my entire life, but we never she didn't she didn't want to get to know us, me or my brother. She was a different one. She had a lot of problems, issues, alcohol being one, and that's unfortunate. I saw firsthand what things we consume, how much they can ruin our lives completely. And, these foods don't just hurt us, they hurt the people around us. They change our behavior. Like, seriously, our behavior changes completely. It changes the way our brain responds to things. It's just a sad thing. So, What's your safe food list from Infinity 8? I made a video about what are the 7 foods that I eat to stay in remission. You can go to my popular playlist. It's like the second video there. It's got like 30,000 views or something. It's you can't miss it. It's a good video. I guess people enjoyed it. I might make another video similar to that one, like the 7 foods I never eat to stay in remission. Probably won't be 7 foods. I mean, literally, it's probably like thousands of foods, but I'll do like 5 main ones or something like that. People ask me for that sometimes. Obviously, my food list has expanded since then, but you know, I'm trying to help people on basic AIP to find remission. So I'm only putting out videos that I actually think will help people, unless I'm doing it for fun. Obviously, YouTube is a blast, so I just love it. I do things just for fun too sometimes, like those paleo police videos. Those are just purely for me, keep my sanity. Like if I see something I want to make a video on, yeah. I mean, when I was before remission, I spent a lot of time video editing and learning how to do that. So, it's just a hobby. Not close, but still sorry to hear. Thanks, Sylvia. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be that guy like, oh, I don't, care, but it's real complicated. I don't want to sound like a heartless guy. Um, Audrey, I hope so. But if not, I appreciate it being able to be out of bed, have energy to play with my kid, and work full time. Most of those things weren't happening before. Yeah, that's got to be rough having a family with trying to find remission in this. I feel for all of you with families. I don't know how you all do it. I really don't. I live alone, and it's just me. I've got friends and everything, but they're super understanding. Like everyone in my life has been very supportive. I'm a very blessed person to have that. Like my family, my parents especially, always believed in me. Like told me ever since I was young, like you be whatever you want, do whatever you want. Never push me to do anything. My brother, my friends are very supportive, and they understand. Like we'll go out to eat, and I'll just sit with them and eat, and like they won't push me. Like I'm to the point where I'm not tempted at all now, so I'll be like, hey guys, you want to go out to eat? You want to go get some ice cream or whatever? You can just mess with them. It's different now. It takes time to get here, but it's fun now. I enjoy this lifestyle. Thoughts on yoga from Infinity 8? Yeah, yoga could be great. Any form of exercise is going to be great as long as it's not like overwhelming your body. A lot of people like go out running and lifting hardcore, and if you can handle that, that's probably going to be great. But I can't handle that right now. This summer, I am going to get into more fitness. I feel like, I'm also a weight loss channel because of my 150-pound weight loss. So I do want to give tips, but it's like, how do I give tips looking like I do, right? So I guess I'll make the old college try at it. I'll try. I'm not like Mitch gut gains. I'm not gonna like be hardcore, but I've always wanted to lift. I did do it for a very short time, and it's gonna hurt. I know it's gonna cause symptoms, but I'm gonna see how much I can push my body without, flaring up, and I don't know. I'm gonna do what I can. But yoga's great. Stretching is really, really good, especially for immune system. Any movement is great for the immune system. Um, I'll probably make another video on that too. Just exercise in general is just good for your body and your mind. Um, don't even worry about doing anything for weight loss so much as your mental abilities. Just walking. I do walking every day. At least 30 minutes. Sometimes more, but just keeps me sane. You got to do something. If you're really overweight, then just doing something in the house is great. Get those, what do they call those, flexing things. I've got one. I just don't use it. You use that, whatever you can do. Start small though. That's what I tell people. Baby steps. Infinity 8, have you measured your IgG antibodies? No, I haven't. I really wish I had done that before I had found remission. Then I could, see where I was and see where I am now. But that's unfortunate. I don't have that data. Sorry. I'm sure it's, lower. I don't know. It's just a guess. Hydronova Haze, I miss sriracha. Yeah, I don't think I ever got to try it. And I used to love spicy food in the before time, so that's unfortunate. I'm sure I would have been that guy like put it on everything, most likely. I used to love like that hot mustard from, I'd get Chinese food a lot, and yeah, you get that like spicy, go straight up your head. I love that. Any of those feelings. It's a fun way to eat, but I can't do that anymore. Ginger is kind of like a good substitute spice kind of thing if you eat it fresh. It doesn't work if it's powdered. And I do have to limit that as well because of FODMAPs and different, FODMAPs, I guess. Ginger, garlic, onion. Do you watch Vegetable Police? Such a funny guy. Yeah, I love Casey. He's just hilarious. Like, he's one of my favorites for sure. He's how do I say this nicely? He's such a nice guy. And it's confusing watching his videos all the time. It's like watching him run in circles, vegan, carnivore, and then like I'll see him adding in kombucha lately, or he'll be like drinking coconut water, like lots of coconut water. I'm like, and I know he's ignoring, he's probably not seeing my comments, but I'll be like, hey man, it's a lot of sugar in that coconut water. I don't want to be that guy like, oh, I'd rather just be friends with people. I don't want to be like, policing people's food all the time, but that's what his channel's about. So I do feel like I'll get to talk to him eventually sometime, and maybe I can not teach him something, but try to help him out a little bit. He's so close. He's like, I know he'll do anything, so it's just he eats like, he'll go like, just last week he just went to a buffet and like ate all tons of different food, like, so I don't know if he just has an issue staying restrictive. And like, if he's not seeing like optimal results, what reason does he have to stay strict on his diet anyway? Like, I get that. So I really, really hope to talk to him sometime. Maybe even do a collab video someday. That would be ideal. That'd be great. I'd love to do a video with a lot of those guys, those carnivores. I watch all their channels. Primal Edge Health is one of my favorites. Just a cool guy. I watch Frank Tufano too. Yeah, I know I made that video about him, like, but it's fun to watch, and the guy is smart. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a pride issue, but a lot of people do. We gotta look past that. I think he's got a lot of good info, and I'm just gonna ignore it just because of that. Nobody's perfect. See, I got lost here in the sriracha. I haven't started AIP yet, but I'm going to miss sriracha too. I'm from New Mexico originally, so I like everything spicy. Lol, surviving Hashimoto's. I know is your name I think your name's Lola or something. You told me in a comment a couple days ago. I hate calling people by their handle if I know their name, but it's hard to remember everybody. I'm trying. YouTube's hard, guys. No, I think it is Lola though. Yeah, sriracha would be great. Maybe I'll make a sauce someday and try to sell it, like a spicy AIP sauce. I'll probably try. Yep, go by Lola. Cool. Yeah. I'd like to have my own AIP like fat bomb someday. If I think something's going to help most people, I might try to do that. It's going to be a long time from now, though. It's a blessing to be so sensitive to everything in a way. Yeah, I really do. I believe that Infinity 8, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, I look at it like my superpower, you know. I know that sounds dumb, but like I'm hypersensitive, and I have, you know, a particular autoimmune disease that I can see. I know Hayes does as well, but I don't know how sensitive he or she is. I'm sorry, I don't know. Your profile and your name is gender neutral, so I can't. I have no guess on that one. I'm guessing. No, I'm not gonna guess. But yeah, I. It's hard to tell. Yeah, blessing and curse. But I do appreciate these symptoms. That honestly, you know, like I'm a she. Okay, she's a lady, and I appreciate my symptoms. You know, they. I read this thing online. It said like they're messengers from God or something like that. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was nice. Nice way to look at it. You know, I'm an optimist most of the time. Um, Hayes, it's the hardest part. I was raised in Texas and miss all spice so bad. Yeah, it's rough. I'm from Kansas, so you know we ate everything, but corn, all the corn. Surviving. Lola, yeah, lol. I currently add chilies and jalapenos to everything. Ouch. That would kill me, literally. Like I'd be dead. Hayes, you can call me Hydronova. Hydronova. Okay, I'll do that. Hydronova. What is that anyway? What is Hydronova? Sylvia, looking for grass-fed meat in Spain, but can't find here. Does anybody have any idea? Yeah, I don't know if you guys have a Walmart there. That's here, obviously. So, um, I do have. I don't know if they ship overseas, but in my Amazon shop, I have. I think it's Laura's grass-fed meat. You might talk to your local farms, see if you can find anything there, or a butcher. Talk to some butchers, maybe. I'm sure you've done all that already, though. um, there's some basic advice for you that you've heard a million times. Hydronova, chili, chilies and jalapenos. Yeah, I used to love all that. I would have been doing all kinds of weird food reviews if I hadn't gotten sick on here with all the spicy food. I'm sure I would have done those spicy channels. That would have been fun to watch, maybe. How often would you say you flare up these days? Oh gosh, it's rare. It's super rare. And when it does happen, it's like it's not like it wasn't before time. It's like barely a one on the Richter scale. You know what I mean? Like it's not even worth talking about. It's almost laughable at this point. Like I had one the other day from too much exercise. I went walking in the heat for like over an hour, and I was going too fast. Yeah, I know that sounds. This makes me sound like an old man, but I had a small flare. Not in a bad location or anything. Didn't even bother me. I barely even noticed. But yeah, it was gone in like a day, so it's fine. 99% of the time, I'm in remission, so can't complain. Do you think eczema is autoimmune? Yeah, definitely. Infinity 8. All disease is born in the gut. That's Hippocrates said that. Is it Hippocrates or Socrates? No, Hippocrates. And I believe that as well. The gut is a complicated thing, guys. I'll probably be trying to master that all my life. Sylvia, search for a farmer's or online. Yep. Survive. Lola, I'm noticing a lot of people on AIP avoid chicken. Is it because most chicken we can get easily is grain fed? Probably. You know I mean, pasture raised is super expensive. I think it's like $9 a pound where I live. If I drive an hour and a half to Salina, it's like $9 a pound. I'm pretty sure. So I've maybe only had it once, if that. I have had chicken maybe, let's say twice at the max this entire year, like the last 365 days, because it's a little more pricier. But also, I had the 99% lean, and it didn't cause a reaction, but I would definitely stay away from anything besides 99% lean or pasture raised, one or the other. But I would limit any factory farm meat at all anyway. Then you can always, I have another tip for that. You can always get like cod liver oil, and this will help manage or balance out your omega ratios. Just eat a little spoonful of that a day, and then you'll get your omega 3s, and then you'll be able to tolerate more omega 6. It's not like omega 6 is like it's evil or anything. You do need it in your body. Like your body doesn't make omega 3 or 6. It does make omega 9 though from those. So you do need a little bit, but you don't need a lot. So if you're eating like nuts and things like that, they're going to be high on omega 6 fatty acids. So you want to limit those as well. I feel like that's where people go off wrong on paleo. They're just eating too many nuts, too many oils, you know. So I do have to limit some of the meat I eat. I don't limit it all though. Like if I can get all the grass-fed meat, I'll eat all the grass-fed meat, fatty or not, doesn't matter. Fattier the better, in fact. Some people rub all that tallow over their face, like more tallow, please, yes please. Infinity, we have no organic meat in supermarkets in Czech Republic. We have lots of good farmers. No organic meat. Okay, so you go straight to your farmer. That's good. That's the best thing to do, probably. Fresher. You're not going to have as many histamine issues, obviously. Some of this meat, I worry about it. Like, I look at the supermarket and like, how old is this meat, you know? It's hard to say. Basically, all chicken are grain-fed, even though they are pastured. Yeah, it could be the case, but I would more call that cage-free or yeah. I mean, the laws are very hazy as far as like the rules that goes along with farming and stuff. Pasture-raised, grass-fed. So you really got to get it from a good source. You got to get it from a source that you trust. Otherwise, you're gonna have issues either way. And again, you can always test it. Like, I mean, if I ate it, I would know whether it is or not. Because if I ate super fatty chicken meat and I broke out, had a flare or symptom, I would know. So you could always test it that way. I mean, yeah, that's my superpower. I would know. Stress is a huge factor. From Hydronova. Yeah, it is in the beginning, but it's not like after you're doing AIP for a long time. Hormones are controlled by diet, especially the fat you're eating. So if you're eating a lot of like fatty factory farm meat, you're probably never going to see, stress is always going to be an issue for you. And again, it depends on how much body weight you have, because the fat we have will actually, it makes its own hormones, right? And the more fat, the more visceral fat you have, the more toxic hormones that are produced from that. So I feel like that could be a factor as well with healing. So maybe after I get down to a legitimate weight, I'm 200 pounds now. I was 350. But after I get down to, I don't know what I'm supposed to be, but whatever it is naturally, whatever I set at, whenever it stops, I guess that's what it is. Depending on fitness, I'm gonna do fitness eventually. I don't know. Again, I do want to do weights. I'd like to, not be always a thick boy. I don't want to be like the fitness channel though. I don't want to do that. So I'm probably never going to show that on here unless people are like, what are you doing? Maybe I don't know. If I was ever proud of my body, maybe I would be. Like, I think there's other things to be proud of. So it sounded weird, I'm sure. Hopefully that made sense. So scroll down. Sorry, guys. I'm still learning this thing. I will get better at it. Have you thought about using herbs for strengthening immunity from Infinity 8. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy about the old herbs. This company sent me these mushrooms, the matcha. I think it's just matcha, the matcha reserve. I've got. I know I'm not gonna be able to say these right, but I've got chaga, rishi, which I was really excited about. That's why I wanted to try these out, and mayataki. I don't know if that's right, but basically, they're supposed to be like adaptogens and things like that. So it's sort of on the same line as that, strengthening an immune system. I'm not sure if they're helping or not. I'm not crazy about the flavor, though. I can tell you that. Not crazy about it. So I found Remission without supplementing at all. So it just goes to show you don't have to buy anything for Remission. The only reason I keep experimenting is I'm trying to cure my anxiety. I've had anxiety since I was a little kid. I did have some physical trauma. I hit my head. So yeah. That's when it started. So it may not be something that I'm able to even cure, fix. I am able to manage it though. For some weird reason, diet affects anxiety. Probably because the brain, the gut-brain axis, your microbiome, your gut microbiome affects your the way you think, your behavior, your mental health. So I thought it was, if it was a purely physical thing, then it would be then it probably wouldn't be manageable with diet. So that's why I keep experimenting. Keto helps a lot with that, by the way. Anxiety. I would love to say, it helps with depression, but I never really experienced. I had it when I was real young, but not like chronic depression like people experience today. Just like that phase. And I've never really been a depressed guy. Only after I drank. When I used to drink alcohol, I'd be depressed for the next 2 days. I was always depressed on Sunday, and I didn't know why. I thought it was because I had to go back to work on Monday. Oh, that's gonna cause depression, right? That'd be pretty sad. Of course, it could, but I actually like my job now, so I'm gonna stick around as long as I can. Have you reintroduced eggs? Yeah, pastured eggs. I'm fine with those, but I do limit them just to be careful. Same way I would limit garlic, onion, ginger, FODMAP, something like that. It's not always a matter of eliminating food. Sometimes it's just a matter of restricting or limiting them partially. Overall, I think they're a good food to have if you can get them pastured because they are very nutrient dense. Eggs contain everything you need, and a lot of things that most other foods don't have. So, but again, if you have an allergy or a intolerance, or you're just starting AIP, a good idea to stay away from them. And I have a good source that I get them locally. I don't know if I mentioned that before, so if I didn't, I probably wouldn't risk it. I don't buy those supermarket. I used to buy those supermarket cage-free eggs, and those would mess me up. I thought I was okay for a little while, but no. I should have experimented more. I think I might have told people and again, cage-free eggs, those chickens are probably 99% of the time inside of a building, never seeing the light of the day. It doesn't mean they're outside. It just means they're not in a tiny cage, like a 2x2 cage. They're I don't know. It's look at videos on that. I really highly recommend you don't eat cage-free eggs or anything. Get them free range, pastured locally would be best. Go to a farmer's market probably. Ask them what they're fed. Are they fed anything like soy? Don't eat soy-fed eggs. That's going to be the worst thing. I always see vegetarian-fed eggs on the side of a supermarket eggs. Just stay away from that. Chickens aren't vegetarians. They're not herbivores, so why would they want to be fed? Stupid, I know. They need to be eating bugs and worms, right? That's what I want them eating. Do you think your disease was caused psychologically? My autoimmune disease? No. Anxiety? I don't know. Maybe partially. Hard to say. But autoimmune, no. So if you're saying that like stress caused it, then definitely not. It was what I was eating. I mean, like I said, stress is controlled by hormones. Hormones is controlled by diet. So if you have a bad diet, you're going to be out of balance, hormonally speaking. Other things can throw your hormones out of whack too. Childbirth, puberty, and that's when I first saw my autoimmune symptoms was during puberty. So, you know, surviving. Lola, I think we can all tell you're not a heartless guy. You're helping all of us here. That's far from heartless. Thanks. It's I'm not gonna say I do it because I'm like this saint or anything. I enjoy doing it. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't. But it does feel like a good purpose. So I do enjoy it. It's good. It's just good all around. I I like doing YouTube. I was doing I had a channel before this with a buddy. We would just like eat weird things and review stuff. It was just for fun. So I kind of learned a little bit on there, but it was it was terrible. I'm thankful I did that though, because then I learned to edit videos. I got into lifting for a short time for a few years ago. FYI, it's addictive. Yeah, all those chemicals released in your brain. Yeah, definitely. That's how I feel when I walk. Like I can't go without it now, or I don't want to go without it now. It is addictive. It just makes you feel good. Resistance bands are awesome when you can't be very active, mobile. Yeah, and I have it. It's like by my couch. I never even touch it. I think it was like $10 at Walmart. Maybe I'll add one of those to my shop. Add like a fitness tab. Probably not, but maybe I will. I don't know. Add it to my sleep aid tab or something. Exercise does help with sleep quite a bit. I used to be like a hardcore insomniac, which probably had a hand in my autoimmune disease as well. So a lot of factors, a lot of contributing factors. My family and friends are very understanding on how I live on AIP. It's easier with support, that's for sure. I'm healthier now. Thanks also to you and your video. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, having support on AIP or any diet, it's invaluable, I know. Chinese food. Yeah, Hydronova. Yeah, I know. Like I miss it. Sometimes I miss it. I mean, I go months without thinking about it, and then I'm like, oh yeah. Like if I was having a bad day, I used to like go eat like have a Chinese mukbang. Is that what they call it? Is that what the kids call it these days? Just pig out, just eat a ton of food. That would make me feel better for like a minute, and then I'd feel terrible and sick. It's amazing I didn't notice that diet was like the most important factor in the before time. I had so much. When your hormones are out of control, it probably is difficult to notice. That's what a lot of people tell me. Like, no, it's not diet, it's stress. Yeah, it's diet, but diet is, like I said, hormones are controlled by stress, or stress is controlled by hormones, which is controlled by diet. I wish people knew that. Like, it takes time. Reduce inflammation. It takes time. It's not going to be a miracle overnight, but if you're consistent enough, you'll get there. I'd understand if you don't want to answer. Do you have scarring? And if so, has the star? Wow, I can't talk. I'm like, I'm so dehydrated. I got these lights are so bright, guys. I know you probably can't tell, but they're so bright. I almost want to wear my like red light glasses. I've got a bunch of these, but they look so stupid, or like I feel stupid wearing them. Like, look at me, look how cool. I'm cool, you guys. I've got red glasses. I've got some yellow ones too. Here's some really stupid looking ones. Check this out. I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting with these right now. Like I bought the cheapest kind and I bought the most expensive on the market. So I'll probably be doing a video about that. I keep saying soon, but like I want to test it really thoroughly. I've been testing them for about 3 months. I have like 5 of them. I bought a bunch off Amazon. So if you know they do work, but I'll get into which ones are best and different things and what they're good for. They're all good for different things. So I do have. That's why I did put them into my shop. I'm not gonna just sell something I don't believe in. Obviously, I'm not selling them. I'm just like an affiliate, but I don't care about the money. Yeah, so sorry. Twistisha. Yeah, I do have scarring, and it was really horrible at first, but it has lessened. Like I had stage 3, so I had HS, so I had like the tunneling everywhere. Like just I don't want to get into. I really don't even like talking about the details of it because it's so gross. I mean, and I hate saying that because I know people. It's so insensitive of me to say, but like when I'm saying that, I'm thinking of my own body and how other people would view me. So I hope nobody takes offense to that. But like I had the tunneling and everything everywhere. So yeah, those did heal up. Everything's good. I will do a video about that eventually. I will show them. But I want to work on my arms first. I want to like be like viewable. I don't want to be like this, just like this disgusting dude showing his scars and body. Like I'm very self-conscious. Sorry. Do you worry about the quality of shrimp in the supermarket? Do you have I can't talk. You have mentioned you eat shrimp a few times. Is there a specific criteria you look for? Yeah, I look for as like no ingredients would be great, but it's so hard to find. You're gonna find like sodium chloride probably in that as an additive, as a preservative, no, it's not sodium chloride. It's sodium triphosphate, and I'm not even sure what that is, but I have tested all that, and I don't react to it at all, which is amazing. Yeah, you just kind of gotta. It's like I didn't used to risk that. Like honestly, I'm the guy that like looks at my water, looks at all the ingredients in my water, and I'm like, is this drinkable? Like, is this worth the risk? But over the years I've tried everything, and I know what I can eat and what I can't. So you just gotta experiment a little bit. So yeah, shrimp is good if you can find it with no additives. That would be great. If you have a seafood allergy, stay away from it. Yeah. Nope. Only shrimp and salt allowed. Yep. Yeah, exactly. But some of these chemicals are usually just a salt, and they're chemically charated. I think it's called charated with another chemical that is also natural. It can be natural or it could be derived from a trigger food. It's just hard to tell sometimes. So the only way I know for sure is testing it. I got to eat it. And if it's worth it to me to eat it, like if it's going to benefit me, like it'll be worth adding to my diet, then I will do that. If not, I'll just stay away from it. If it's a food like I don't need, I won't try it. I don't need a bunch of processed foods. But a food like shrimp, I feel like, yeah, I like shrimp. I like eating a bowl of shrimp sometimes. But overall, the quality, like if you're talking about like mercury or anything like that from the water, yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to trust your source. Get it from a good source. I get it from Walmart. I don't know if you can trust everything from there or not, but I'm not the richest guy in the world, so it's like $5 a bag for I think a 12-ounce bag, and it lasts me 2 meals. So that's not. I don't do that every day because that would be expensive. $2.50 a serving of meat. Or but let's say protein, but yeah, gotta do what works best for you. Oh my god, I'll buy it by the case. Do it. I forget what we were talking about on that one. Oh, probably what I was buying or making, the spicy sauce or something. I used to like be a sauce boss. Like I'd get my chicken nuggets from Walmart, or not Walmart, Walmart chicken nuggets. Well, I guess they do have them. I'd get them from McDonald's or Burger King, and I would just eat chicken nuggets, and I would get like 20 sauces. Like, I would like, they'd be like, "Hey, you want any sauce with that?" I'd be like, "Yeah, all of the sauces, please, all of them, multiple, please." It was sad. Yeah, ranch. I make my own AIP ranch now. You just need like coconut cream, mix it with a little bit of vinegar, like apple cider vinegar or coconut vinegar. Add that AIP seasoning from is it Paleo Power? Yeah, it's just AIP seasoning. It's like oregano and or basil and things like that, herbs, and it tastes just mix it all together. It tastes just like ranch. I mean, it does now, but I haven't had ranch for years, so that's it tastes like it to me. It's good on a salad or anything. Make a lot of sauces. Yep. You can make anything if you spend enough time thinking about it. You know, some things I do, sometimes I don't. Yeah, I definitely recommend trying that. Um, oh yeah, that's not too bad of a spelling mistake. Twistisha. I can't. I can barely pronounce anything. That's my thing. I can barely talk sometimes. Like, this is hard for me, honestly. I use this like therapy for myself, honestly. It's good for me. Like in my day to day life, I barely talk at all. I don't. I'm like an introvert. I don't do this kind of thing. So for me to like, it's easier to do it to a camera. This is a little tougher doing it live like this, but I'll get used to it. I'm a little nervous. Maybe that's normal. Do you think autoimmune disorders are man-made? Um, they are in a way because of the way we eat isn't natural. Like we wouldn't have been able to eat like we are now before the industrial age. So if you think of it like that, and certainly before agriculture. So if we were tribal, living in a clan, we wouldn't have been able to eat all these grains and things. We wouldn't have been able to eat so many different refined grains and refined foods. It just wouldn't have been possible. So in a way, yes. Do I think like someone's there's like an evil legion of doom creating this? No, but there are a lot of stupid people out there not helping. That's for sure. Hydronova haze. I couldn't pronounce hydrodonitis suppurativa, so I called it hydraulic supernova. Lol. But then no one could pronounce it, so I just changed it a bit. I want to remain anonymous to YouTube. That's a good idea. I probably shouldn't have gone with my first name, but I like my name, and I think it sounded cool. So Adamimmune. A lot of people look at it and they're like, "What is Adam immune? What is that?" But you put a hyphen in there. I hear that all the time. Put a hyphen in there. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. I'm just gonna stick with it. I like it. Uh, but I think we're in touch on Facebook. Oh, I'm sure. Like I get so many. I feel bad sometimes because I can't remember. Like I talked to a few. I think I remember who you are. I'm pretty sure we talked recently. But yeah, I get a lot of messages on like my personal Facebook or on the Adam Immune Facebook page or my Instagram DMs. So between those three and then emails, just it's hard to keep up sometimes. That's why I kind of wanted to live stream. And this is gonna be I can answer questions on here. I wanted to do AIP consultations basically on here to help everyone together. That was the idea. And I don't want to do like charge people. I get asked like, hey, do you want to do AIP? Can I pay you for AIP consultation? I'm like, I don't want your money. Like just I need to figure out some better way to do that. So here we are. You know, live streaming. That's the way to go. It's the future. It's a natural progression here. Yep, and this is from Sylvia. Yep, and they look like I'm crazy if I ask for grass fed. One asked me if a cow cannot eat grains, what can they eat? I looked at him as if he was crazy. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when we're talking about grain fed cows, grass fed, technically grass. Ugh, I don't know. It's complicated. Like, yeah, cows eat grass in nature. They don't eat soy, which soy is a legume, but it's processed down into a grain. There's a lot of things that are technically a grain that you wouldn't think are exactly. But yeah, I want my cows eating grass like God intended. That's how I feel about it. I'm not gonna change my mind. But I am open-minded on a lot of things. But that just seems like common sense. Do you tolerate macadamia nuts? I feel like those are only reasonable nuts with walnuts, maybe. Yeah, macadamia nuts. There was one nut that is less inflammatory than the rest. I can't remember if it was. I think it is macadamia. I have to think about it for a moment. It's not walnut, but it's the omega ratios in it. It's not as high in omega-6. So if you want to do like macadamia oil, you might be able to try that as a reintro. But I just recommend people stay away from nuts in general because, well, they're basically seeds. Nuts are basically seeds, and they are high in phytates, anti-nutrients, hard to digest. We weren't meant to eat nuts, seeds, things like that. I don't want to talk about nuts all because people get worked up about it. It's a paleo food. I know it is. I know. Does aged meat cause you problems? Aged meat. Yeah, if you're talking about like old meat, it would be high in histamines. So it depends though. Like I can eat canned meat like tuna and be fine. So but I'm sure if I ate like a ton of meat, I would see some sort of sinus issues maybe or something like that. But yeah, I don't have to worry about that too much. Old meat. I don't know how much. Like Walmart, I get my meat from there. I don't know how old it is. I don't know where it's sourced from. Actually, yeah, I do. It's from like Brazil, I think, where they can eat grass-fed meat. They're grass-fed and grass-finished. That's all I know. But if I'm eating factory farm, I'll eat the lean, and I don't know where that's from, honestly. I do. We got to compromise somewhere, right? That's expensive. I can't just eat grass-fed beef. I've never had a grass-fed steak. I've only had the ground beef, so that I look forward to doing someday. Just this poor boy trying to be healthy. I get that this is your... Oops. I scrolled down too far. I get that this is your AIP channel, but you could also have a channel that shows your own journey where you can show your actual diet and whatever activity you want to share. Just a thought. Yeah, I thought of having a second channel before, but I just want to be like blatantly out there with what I do. And I honestly, I don't think I could handle two channels. Like that would be a lot. I do other things creatively speaking. I have other ways of venting, and I have friends that are helping me with that as well. So I don't exactly need any more work to do, honestly. I'm like good, but I love this channel, and I want to put this channel. I didn't want it based around me. That's why I wasn't going to call it Adamimmune. I wanted to call it like, natural health or healing. I don't know, but I wanted it to be based around a community, autoimmune community, healing themselves naturally. But I don't know, Adamimmune sound cool, so I thought. And yeah, I will share that in a video someday. It's not like I'm hiding what I eat or anything, like, because I only eat the egg in my what do you call them, mug cakes. So it's not like my overall I'm not eating a bunch of reintros or anything. That's the only thing. I've mentioned it a couple times maybe, but it's just not something I like announce all the time. I try to keep all that out of my Instagram as well because I want it to be helpful to newbies. There's not a lot of AIP like masters doing this, So and it's like if they were, advanced AIPers, they probably wouldn't be watching me anyway, Maybe they will. I don't know. We can always learn, right? I know I'm always learning. Lola, you're surviving Hashimoto's. You're doing great, Adam. Really enjoying this, and you're sharing so much knowledge with this. nothing to be sorry for. It may help to have viewers put actual questions in caps to help you sort comments. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. If you want your question answered, you could put it in all caps. I will get to all of these eventually. I'm just kind of scrolling down as I go here. Well, I can see all your comments. I'm like behind, obviously. I'm slow at this. I will learn to do it quicker. Surviving Hashimoto's, depression and anxiety are horrible symptoms of autoimmune disease. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's that gut microbiome again. I'm fortunate that I've learned to manage my anxiety. That's a tough. It's tough. But I feel bad really for people with depression, because that just affects everything. Like, at least I'm at home and I'm in my safe, area. Like, I don't have to stress out or think about other things outside of, my world, right? But, people with depression, they go home, they're still depressed, right? That would be tough. I know people with chronic depression, and, you see the signs of it on social media, and, it's concerning. It's scary adding foods when you're having success. I don't want to relapse. I'm holding steady. That's from Deborah. Yeah, reintroductions are so terrifying. I was going to make a video about that, actually. Like, I didn't want to reintro for a long time. I think I put it off like 6 months. That's probably why I was successful finding remission, like a better quality remission. I see people like, oh yeah, I seen a little improvement, and then I did my reintros, but people do it so soon. Like, I even see other AIP channels mentioning, yeah, you do it, just do it for 30 days or 90 days or whatever, then start reintros. But that's bad advice. I'm not gonna name names, but yeah, I just appreciate people getting the word out about AIP. Honestly, it's so small, like nobody knows. But as soon as a celebrity starts doing AIP, though, we'll be in the middle of it. Or not. I'd be happy with paleo if they just started doing paleo. Got that big. People think it's a fad diet. It's amazing. It's amazing. A fad diet with awesome results. Keto blew it up, though. Keto is so crazy right now. Keto is great. To me, it's secondary, though. Like, AIP first, then keto. Because if you're keto and you're still eating those foods that you're intolerant to, you're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad life. You're not going to find remission, that's for sure. Might see a little bit of improvement, but then your results are going to slowly go away. Unfortunately. I got a video about that that I've started kind of planning. I'll talk about that soon. Like, you have to cut out all of the all the foods you react to. Otherwise, you're going to see the inflammation creep back up. You become more sensitive as you cut things out. That's just natural. That's why so many people think, like, yeah, I did AIP, but, I didn't get the results. Yeah, you keep going. I know. Yoga helps me with my PTSD. This is from Hydronova. Yoga helps with my PTSD, depression, and anxiety. I do yoga 3 times a day, and it's part of my autoimmune healing regimen. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? Maybe I would do that. I'm not very flexible. I try, though. I stretch, but I don't do like the poses. Downward dog. That's a thing, right? That's one of those. I should get into that, though. I do want to just do weightlifting, though. I feel like I have to kind of choose something. I can't do a bunch of things. I don't have the strength for it all. But yoga would be great. I would recommend that. Hydronova, same here, Deb. Not worth it. Yep. I can't believe how I used to eat takeout and junk all the time. Yeah, it's amazing, right? I know. Like, I look back I have this little video of me eating cake. I'm like, I didn't even enjoy it, but I couldn't stop. It's just so addictive. It's disgusting, I know. But people can change. I didn't think we could, but here we are. So, yeah, eating Chinese food every day, eating Taco Bell, KFC, and pizza. I ate it all. McDonald's. I would eat chicken nuggets. I just ate it all, and I like fast food every single day. Even though I did enjoy cooking, but obviously now I'm forced to. It's a good thing I enjoy it. I'd give anything for a good night's sleep. Totally understand. Yeah, Lola, sleep is probably just as important as diet is. I don't talk about it enough on this channel, but if you're not getting sleep, you're probably going to have huge setbacks, and you may not even find remission, honestly, because along with diet, sleep controls hormones as well, like cortisol. You're not going to see optimal healing if you're not sleeping well. So I do have a sleep tab in my Amazon shop where there's a few things that I use there that helps out. Oh, and my water, it's almost gone now, but it was so white because I put magnesium in it, glycinate. So magnesium helps with anxiety, helps with sleep. I had to take it for a couple months to see results, though. I didn't see results for, probably at least 2 months. So just take a little bit every day. I think it's between 250 to 500 milligrams. But just get the powder. Don't get the pill form, because God knows what's in that stuff. Unless you can find a good grass-fed gelatin capsule, but I haven't found any. I had to use it this morning, like medicinally, I took a larger amount than usual. Kind of have to do that when I'm around a bunch of people sometimes. Yeah, sleep is being an insomniac back in the day, sleep is just invaluable. I would have given anything too. TC Highlight says hi. Hello. Welcome. Hydronova, I saw a derm a few months ago who tried to tell me it was not about diet at all. What a joke. Yeah, I know. My derm told me the same thing. I was like, hey man, I heard about these nightshades. I don't know, have you heard of these? And that was when I had first, I didn't go into detail about it, but I was already doing paleo, and I had to cut out nightshades actually while I was doing paleo. I believe that's what I got started with, nightshades, I think, because man, they messed me up bad. They are my worst trigger by far. So I told him that, and actually when I went and seen him, my HS was not even that bad. I was in a moment where I was it wasn't as horrible as it usually is, which is, that's how it is when you go to a doctor, right? All of a sudden. But yeah, he didn't believe me. Didn't believe diet was a thing. I didn't tell him that I saw a huge improvement or anything. I asked him about the nightshades and about diet, and nope, absolutely not. Diet has no effect on your HS, your autoimmune issues. What a clown, honestly, what a clown. I feel bad for people like that just won't think outside their box at all, won't see anything. Hopefully that guy has changed. I'd actually love to interview him now. I'd love to go back and be like, hey man, check this out. I got proof. I can show you my scars and everything, You're the one that diagnosed me, so what do you think about this? I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I just haven't gotten to that place yet. I should, though. I just don't want to be that guy that goes and hounds doctors. Hey, look what I did. Maybe it's not the same for everybody, so I just don't want to be that guy. After experiencing what I did, no one can tell me diet isn't involved. Yeah, exactly. Diet's everything. It's not the only thing, but it certainly feels like everything sometimes. You look nice in the first pair. Oh, the first pair. These? These are my, what are these called? True Dark, I think. Yeah, these are really expensive. These are $80, I think. They were on sale, 2 for $99 during, it's right after Christmas. There's this technology sale or something. Cyber Monday, whatever. It was a good deal. I will do a video about that, but I don't want people spending more money than they have to. So I've got some options on there for cheaper things. Honestly, it'd be I have these actual clear ones too. These are just regular blue. Hey, these are regular blue blocking glasses. They block, I think, 40% of the blue light, 30%, something like that. But I can't wear these. Just come on. I can't wear any of these, really. Oh, check these out, though. These are my other True Darks. Yeah, I got 2 of them. These I actually use when I want to sleep. They block out 99% of the blue light. So like your body tricks your body into thinking the sun's gone down, whatever. It does help. But it's not exactly affordable unless you got spare change laying around. I happen to at some point. Spend that Christmas money. I don't know how I did. I just wanted them, you know. I wouldn't have bought it if they weren't on sale. But yeah, those are from True Dark. You guys can check out my Amazon shop if you want to see what I recommend there. I've got a few cheaper options for stuff. It's from Surviving Hashimoto's, Lola. Stress is for sure controlled by hormones. Maybe a little too much information, but anxiety is far worse for me around that time. Panic attacks galore for no reason, and the depression. Man. Yeah. I feel bad for you ladies that have to deal with that, you know? That's tough. Do you... I'm assuming... Oh, do you put anything on your scars? You can talk? I get it. You can talk? I get it. From Hydronova. That you can take. Okay, I get it. No, I don't put anything on my scars. I just don't really care about it, honestly. Like, I'm self-conscious about it, but I don't want to... I don't know. I just don't care about it. Scars, they're not... You can't see them at all, like when I'm wearing clothes, so it's not like a big deal to me. Even if I wasn't wearing clothes, it would be hard to see as well. It's not something I think about, really ever. But you could put vitamin E on it. I think it's called tocopherol, something like that. You want to get a good animal-based vitamin E so you can actually absorb it. I think lambs, there's something made from... Yeah, is that the Lanerol? Something like that. It's made from sheep's wool. You might look into that. That'd probably be the best thing to do. There's some things that will block your pores and things, so you just got to be careful. You said your scars were going away, so I mean, do you rub anything, or is it... No, I don't... Let me go down there. Sorry, I'm missing all these. You said your scars were going away, so I mean, do you rub anything, or is it just going away? Yeah, it's going away by itself. Scars heal over time, like naturally. But well, there's always going to be scarring there, but it's just not as bad. Let me say that. It's not like the scars are ever going to disappear completely. But as a man, if you're worried about how it looks, like, you know, from a man's perspective, I certainly wouldn't care. But, you know, maybe I'm a little bit biased in this, you know, living with this disease. We are all self-conscious about something. Yeah, certainly. Definitely. Only shrimp and salt allowed. Yep, that's probably for best. I'm a little paranoid. I'm so paranoid. Yeah, I understand. Paranoia comes along with the restricted diet. It really does. Honestly, it's sort of a safety mechanism, I feel like. You know, it may sound bad, you know, like a mental thing, but it keeps me safe sometimes, you know, so being a little paranoid, you know, a little bit paranoid, not having I certainly don't want anybody to have like a food issues. What do you call that? Becoming anemic, or, you know, not eating food at all. But if you can keep it in balance, that sounds bad. I was just curious about the sodium triphosphate. It's in all the shrimp I can find. Yeah. I don't know. You might look outside the sources you're looking at now. Maybe look online. But yeah, it's probably going to be in everything. I would say try it. If you can tolerate it, then good. It may... I'm not sure if it's AIP or not, honestly. I'm not sure what that is. It's salt chelated with another mineral or something. Triphosphate. I don't know what that is. Oh my god, I miss ranch. Yeah. My dad called me the condiment queen. Lol. That's pretty good. Yeah, sauce is where it's at. Um, I mean, you put sauce on anything, it makes it taste good, you know? You can make anything good. It's probably why everybody puts sriracha on everything. I'm going to have to try. My head is off to all you do. All that you do. AIP Marquita, thank you. I don't think I pronounced that right. That is a name and a half. I'm going to try. Marquita Kita Boo Nail Deet Perry. Got the last part right for sure. You're doing awesome and we love the community. That's good. I love the community too. I really do. That's why I call you guys health heroes, you know, because that's what it takes. You got to be a hero. You can't be a victim in this. Victims will fail every time. I see it. There's that Facebook group called Beyond AIP. It's just full of victims. I just can't stand it, you know. I can't stand a victim in my own life with anything, honestly. You know, attitude is 99% of life. You know, you gotta be optimist about it. And if you're not trying everything, then. But again, I hate to be that guy that says, yeah, you just gotta go stricter. You know, gotta go strict. You hide it well. You're doing great, man. Thank you. Yeah, I learned to hide it well when I was very young. Imagine HS in high school. I know some of you know. It was not a fun thing. So much blood. So much blood. Just embarrassing. Probably one of the most embarrassing diseases. So, yeah. You know, when you deal with something that long, you lose all your pride and confidence. Marquita, I'm not strong enough. I love food too much. Yeah, food addiction is a tough thing to get over. But honestly, once you go hardcore, I look at food like black and white. Like it's either healing you or it's poisoning you. You know, it's hurting you. You know, I started with like cookies, looking at them like they're poison. You know, if you can start there and you can change it mentally, you know, that's a good place to start. But sugar is a poison, so. I'm not talking about natural sugars. I'm talking about, you know, refined sugar. Lots of sugars. But I don't eat any of them. Lola, lots of people with AI diseases are introverts. Introverts are warriors. Yeah, for sure. Yep, I've noticed that. I talk to a lot of you guys, and we're all kind of like keeping to ourselves a lot. Although, yeah, joining the community has been good for a lot of us. I highly recommend joining a Facebook group if you haven't. You know, it's a real good thing to do. My favorite is like HS, the Diet Connection. Obviously, that's related to my own personal autoimmune disease, but there are thyroid ones as well, things like that. Hashimoto's, I believe, has one. I'm not sure. Or you could just join a regular AIP group on Facebook. No, your name is awesome. Thank you. I like it too. Says Hydronova and Twistisha. Don't change a thing about your name. Yeah, I really did almost put a hyphen in it. I really did. I was really close to doing that at some point. But then I was like I've been doing this for so long, like I don't even care anymore. Your name is cool. It's catchy. Thank you, Lola. I think it is catchy. I sent to my friend, I'm like, what do you think about Adamimmune? And she's like, perfect, you know? Or I'm like, yeah, that's a good answer. Thank you. I'm just going to stick with it. Hydronova, when I was diagnosed, I was eating tons of fruit and seeds and nuts, legumes and grains. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a hard thing to get past when I was diagnosed. Yeah, I was too. I was eating all the things, and you know, I transitioned. I used like transition foods, like foods that weren't as bad, like maybe rice or something like that. for a grain, it's not as bad as some others. White rice is going to be better than brown. Like, don't eat whole grains. They're going to be harder. I know a lot of people like whole grains are healthy. They're not, but they're also harder to digest as well. So, I mean, I don't recommend eating any grains, but if you're transitioning away, then maybe start with rice and maybe oats, and then slowly get off those. But honestly, I really like tiger nut flour and coconut flour, if you can tolerate them. Somebody asked me if tiger nut was a nut. No, it's a root. It's a root. That's like a common misnomer. It's not a nut. It sounded cool, so that's what they called it. It's really good. It's great. Got a great texture and flavor. I love it, and it's another good prebiotic, you could call it. I know the carnivores are like, they don't believe in that, but we got a lot of data on that, so I really do believe that's good for long-term health. That's why I'm not a carnivore. I don't want to just maintain. I want to actually heal, and I do believe that comes with a good diverse microbiome, gut microbiome. But again, that's not really not the expert in that. You'd have to talk to Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's I just saw her podcast with Joe Rogan a few days ago. It just blew my mind. It was so beautiful. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend that. Go to Joe Rogan's podcast and search Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's so smart. I looked for Instagram the other day, but she doesn't really post on there much, so I'd like to get a hold of her sometime. Maybe I could learn something. I'm pretty sure aged meats are higher in histamine. Yep, absolutely. That's the reason I don't eat like all these other foods that people are eating, like prosciutto and whatever. I see people eating all these like paleo deli meats or whatever. They're technically AIP compliant, but I don't know. If I didn't cook it, I don't really trust it all that much. Did your HS cause stress and depression? It was debilitating until I went AIP. Yeah, it caused a lot of stress, physically and mentally, emotionally. It was rough. I mean, you guys know stage 3. That's as bad as it gets, and couldn't have any relationships while I had symptoms in the before time. It was bad. Like, I didn't think I don't want to get all emotional about it or anything, but it was a horrible, horrible way to live. It was no life. That's the reason why I made this. I wanted to help people like I was, get away from that, have a real life, almost a normal life. Like now I can do that now. Like, it's amazing. But yeah, in the before time, that was stressful. I couldn't. It was too much on my mind, too much on my body. I couldn't go and do things I wanted to do. I could barely move without being in pain. So, spent a lot of time in bed, just hanging out, drawing. I did a lot of sketching, writing. I enjoy writing. I'm probably not very good at it, but I do enjoy it. I'll probably end up writing a book someday. Not that I'd publish it, but like I would just do it. Yeah, I'm bipolar, manic, depressive. It's very hard. Sorry, Marquita. That's tough. I know some other people that are bipolar as well. That's a tough one. Sorry to hear that. Hydronova. My doctors haven't heard of it. Really? Yeah. Doctors aren't trained in nutrition usually, so I'd recommend finding a good functional medicine doctor. They're more versed in things like that. That's tough, Marquita. Yeah, Marquita, I understand that too. I have bipolar. Yeah, seems to be almost fairly common these days with people that have autoimmune disease. It's a lot of these things, we all share a lot of the common symptoms. It's amazing. Chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, brain fog, arthritis, rheumatoid. all that other stuff. It goes on and on. I know, digestive issues, like crazy. I was almost sure I had Crohn's, but I wasn't diagnosed, so I'm not gonna say that, But I was pretty sure I had Crohn's. I had a lot of pain in my nethers. It was bad. Marquita, I forgot schizophrenic. Silly me. Nice. Yeah, schizophrenia. That's bad. Maybe. Well, the mental disorders are usually hugely impacted by positively by keto. So you might look into that if you aren't already. But ease into it. Really ease into it. I have videos on that and how to do that. Thank you for the magnesium tips. I'll try it. Yeah, I really do recommend it. I buy the I've got these things handy just in case. Magnesium glycinate from Nutricost. I think it was like $14. I think. I don't know. It's made in America. I don't know. I just looked at it and I felt like it was good. Good thing, and it has helped me. So it was the only one I could find in like a canister. I hate packages. Like I have so many packages I have to open. Then you have to close them with a little seal, and I hate that. But I like a screw top. So that's the only one I could find like that. And I definitely don't get magnesium citrate. That'll go right through. You won't absorb it at all. It'll just cause diarrhea. So there's magnate is what is it magnate? I don't know, but glycinate works for me. Calm works great. Calm. Andrew Simmons. Hi, Adam from Kimber. Oh, Kimber Keto Life. Hey, I just talked to you yesterday or the day before. I'll probably end up doing that keto critique sometime, just for fun. If I can figure out how to do it. I'm going to click this screen capture thing. See what happens. Nope, doesn't work. I'll figure that out. I'll figure out how to do screen capture on here, and then I'll end up I'll start critiquing AIP videos, keto videos, paleo. I'll do paleo police on these. Eventually I'll get to it. I'll have to spend some... This is my first day with this, so I'll figure it all out. Surviving Hashimoto's. Yeah, that's my experience with docs. They can't think outside the box. Textbook only, and we need to stay off of Dr. Google and take the pills they shove down our throats. I might be a little bitter, lol. Yeah, I can relate to that. Yep, for sure. I would consider myself a Google doctor. Twistisha, were you on any medications for your HS? Oh, okay. Hydronova. Oh. Yeah, I was in the beginning. Right when I was diagnosed, I took minocycline, doxycycline, I think it's called. I took all those cyclines, antibiotics basically. I really wish I hadn't. I know they set me back, but they worked. Yeah, for about 3 months, and then they stopped working. That seems to be the usual. Antibiotics do work. They wipe out that bad gut bacteria, but then they end up wiping out the good ones too. All your probiotic bacteria. So then you have to recreate. It's like a nuclear bomb for your gut microbiome. It's just a bad idea. It's just all these negative consequences from these, people that they have good intentions, but right, they just don't know. So I highly recommend, if you don't have to take antibiotics to survive, don't do it. Just don't do it, because I don't think anyone taking antibiotics are ever going to find remission. Ever. But yeah, the topicals did nothing, but the pills that I took, they did. Doxycycline messed me up, and I had to take so much probiotics to recover. Yeah, exactly. That's a tough one. You said your scars were going away, so I mean, do you rub anything, or is it just going away by AIP? Yeah, it's just going away by itself. Like, my body's just like, I don't know, scars just lessen over time, naturally. I don't want to say it's because of AIP, but I'm eating a very nutrient-dense diet as well, and I'm sure that helps. But no, I don't rub anything on it. I could, but I don't. I think less is more with pretty much everything. Again, minimalism like is my everything, you know, pretty much. That's why AIP works great for me. Um, um, I am so self-conscious about my scars. I would love to wear tank tops, but that isn't happening. Kimber, Keto Life. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I would love to go outside without my shirt on and just get some good sunlight and not care what people think. I could do that. I could, you know. I guess I have a back porch, so I could do that anyway, but, you know, scars run deep emotionally, don't they? Trauma can't be undone just that quick. And I have some loose skin as well. That plays a role in it. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I don't. Surgery is, you know. I'll talk about surgery someday if anybody's interested. I don't know. Um, I'm on meds now, Marquita. I wear a lot of tanks with bandages. I don't care. Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's a good attitude to have. Like, who cares what anybody thinks, you know? Wear tank tops and bandages. They'll probably just think you got, you know, stuck, you got hurt or something physically. A lot of people wouldn't think it's like a disease, especially if you're not like on your face, you're not showing like, oh, you know, you're clearly worried about it. Then they're just gonna, oh, you know, maybe she hit something. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good attitude to have. Um, Marquita, mine are so bad due to surgeries and new flares and scars. Yeah, I really recommend people don't get surgeries because it usually comes back really quickly within a few months. Usually it'll be like an inch over from where it was or something like that. I hear about that constantly. People ask me all the time, should I get surgery? Should I get surgery? I will never recommend it. Nope. That doesn't fix the root cause. It might help you for a month or two, you know, like if you want to, I don't know. I just don't recommend it. Marquita, is purple our color for autoimmune? For HS, yes, it is. But for all autoimmune disease, it's technically white. Like that. That's like the overall thing. But there's also, I think it's autoimmune AIDS that's white as well. So they may not be happy about that. But um, Andrew, have you considered trying to grow microgreens to enhance your AIP dishes? I thought about a lot about that, doing microgreens or you know sprouting or just growing things in my kitchen or um, I just haven't gotten around to it. I had a garden last year. I grew a pumpkin. I had a pumpkin patch. That was fun, but I wasn't very good at it. The squirrels got them. Those fat little squirrels got them. It's too bad. I didn't even get to eat them. Um, I also tried to plant some Japanese Okinawa purple sweet potatoes. They all died, unfortunately. I'm not a very good gardener. I figured that out. I might plant something. I might even plant like strawberries or something. I don't know. Or maybe just something easy like cucumbers. Cucumbers are supposed to be like the easiest thing to plant. But I can't eat the seeds of a cucumber. I think it's the lectins. I can't eat seeds of anything. So like if you're going to eat cucumber, like cut out the middle. I know that sounds awful, but you know, that's what I would have to do. Took me a long time to figure that one out. Um, Marquita, there's an official list. Oh, maybe I missed a question in there. Yeah, there. I highly recommend going off Sarah Ballantyne's book, Paleo Principles. I was gonna grab it, but I really don't want to. Sarah Ballantyne is sort of the go-to person, like official. Everyone listens to her and what she says, so just go. I would just go off of that, her official AIP list. But then customize it, personalize it to you, what you can eat. Obviously, that's gonna take time though. I don't I don't think it's perfect, but like I said, I'm not gonna make my own stuff. Someday maybe, but I trust Sarah. She's a smart woman, and she loves the science. Um, what kind of autoimmune disease do you have? Oh, I think you're asking Marquita. Oh yeah, HS. I was a purple. HS here too. Oh, another. Wow, bunch of people with HS. I don't know if fibromyalgia is one. Yep, certainly, I believe. Um, Adam, you got my name right? Oh, good. Marquita or Marquita? Marquita? I felt good about it, but now I don't. Nightshades are my worst enemy. Oh yeah, me too. They're bad. I don't know why. Like nightshades are like worse than grains and all those other things to me. But I hear that from a lot of people too. Like nightshades are just powerful. I think it's the solanine. I don't know. They're just or lectins. Who knows? Combination of a bunch of things probably. It's so traumatizing just thinking back to when I was in the thick of it and trying to hide all of it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like just awful way to live. I hated living that life, just like hiding who you were, or hiding what you were dealing with. I didn't tell my family for 15 years, and I didn't tell my friends. God, I think I told my friends before I told my family. How bad is that? So yeah, about 15 years, I didn't tell anybody. I just hid it. I kept it to myself. Stage 3 too. It was hard to hide. A lot of bandages. Took 3 or 4 showers a day sometimes. I ruined a lot of clothes. We're all living with HS, so I figure live your best life and wear what you want and eat what makes you happy. And eat what makes you better. Oh, eat what makes you better, not happy. There you go. I was concerned for a second. Yeah, eat what makes you better. Exactly. Hydronova. So glad we don't have to live like that. Yeah, exactly. Not anymore. I'm not going back for anything. Hydronova, thank you so much for sharing. I found your channel the day I diagnosed myself, last August. Nice. Yeah, honestly, most people do self-diagnosis. I don't recommend it. I suggest you go to a doctor and get a real diagnosis. I mean, the moment you get that, it is very relieving, mentally. Like just knowing you're not crazy and you actually have an autoimmune disease, like it's a real thing. Everything that was afflicting you had a reason, It's not like an unknown, right? But yeah, I mean, obviously for some people it's super obvious and you just know you have it. I did self-diagnosis as well, but then I got a real, I went to I went to 2 different doctors, but they both said the same thing. One doctor said it was the worst he'd ever seen. The first one I seen, he was just the look on his face when he saw it. That was the first time I'd shown it to anybody, and the look on his face, I was like, oh my God. Like have some bedside manner, dude. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, it's not so bad. You could live a halfway normal life. Sure. That would have been great, because I was I think I was 28. It was just 20, maybe 27. It was like 3 years ago. I'd already been doing paleo, so I wasn't even that bad. I was bad, but I was better. Still stage 3 though. Let me scroll up here a little bit. Writing can be so cathartic. I'm a writer. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, it really is. Sometimes I just write stuff and I end up deleting it, and I'll probably make most of it into videos. Like people always talk about on YouTube, like, give me ideas for videos. But seriously, I have like books full of them, like, and so many files saved. I got like thousands of pages saved on my Microsoft Word. I just write like crazy. I don't. Ideas are great. I feel like I keep getting pushed back because there's so many things that I want to do, but there's so many ideas I need to talk about right away, or sooner, or things just come up. But yeah, I used to want to be like a fantasy writer, like a novelist. I always had this. I get these crazy ideas, I thought that would be fun. So I did always want to be a writer. That's what I wanted to be. I just don't think I'm that great at it. But you got to practice to get better. You got to write some bad books to write a good book, probably too. That's BS though. How is a doctor not trained in nutrition? Yeah, blows my mind. They just don't look at that, you know. They don't look at the root cause of anything. Sometimes, but if you get a good doctor, they certainly will. They'll look at diet as at least a factor. Most of them don't. They'll just be like, "Oh yeah, you need to lose weight, whatever." Thanks, doc. Yeah, I need to lose some weight. Hadn't thought of that. Yeah, I tried everything. Wow. So basic. I have osteoarthritis. Sorry, Marquita. Probably because osteoarthritis. Probably because they're trained to hand out pharmaceuticals from Andrew Simmons. Yeah, that's true. Actually, they do get kickbacks from pharmaceuticals, and oftentimes they'll get approached by pharmaceutical companies while they're in their residency early on. So they'll end up pushing something. There was just a story lately about that where pharmaceutical companies got in trouble for basically paying doctors or getting their Humira overprescribed. So something to look into. I wanted to do a video about it, but I don't have the time. I'd like to though. There's a lot of pharmaceutical companies that are doing some just outright, I don't want to say evil stuff, but you know, kinda. They're made up of people, and the problem is greed. You know, when you care more about money than you care about people, then you're gonna have a problem in any circumstance, any situation. Andrew, I know, and chop people up. Yeah. Hey, yep. Oh, you want surgery? Cool. Oh, you want to change your diet? Oh, I'm not so sure. Marquita, could we have leaky gut? Absolutely. I believe it. Leaky gut theory is not a theory anymore. There's actually plenty of studies that prove intestinal permeability. So yeah, certainly. Leaky gut is probably at the root issue of autoimmune disease. I don't want to say all the time, but certainly in most cases. FYI, Hydronova. FYI, I love live streams and always watch when I can. If you continue doing that, the lives, I'll be here. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, this is new to me. I'm still learning, but it's fun for sure. It's something. It's a lot different than making a video. I can edit all this my thinking. Not that I do a lot of that, but certainly feels like it. There's a lot of pauses, and I'll get past that. I'll learn to be quicker about this, I think. Hydronova, FYI, I love... Oh, just said that. Andrew Simmons, doxycycline messed me up, and I had to take so much probiotics to recover. Yeah, I hear that so often. Man, antibiotics are just a pain. They set people back for years. That's why I made that video about... well, I'm going to make it about antibiotics in the future, but I made it about immune suppressants. Kind of the similar idea though. Similar, definitely different though. I don't want to say they're the same thing. Immune suppressants are not antibiotics. Marquita, I'm on Doxy now. Sorry, Marquita. I'm not telling people not to take their medication, by the way. I just want to be sure. I'm not trying to get sued up in here, all right? Not that there's anything to take, but good luck with that. You can't get blood from a stone. Marquita, I'm surviving Hashimoto's. You say less is more. I agree. The human body is amazing, can do amazing things like heal itself when we give it the proper nutrition and environment to allow it. Yeah, absolutely. The human body is an incredible machine, almost a perfect design, as long as you give it the right fuel. How can we add each other? How can we add each other? Oh, I don't know, guys. Actually, there is like a Facebook community thing, but I haven't really looked into that. It's more bigger on like Facebook, you know. So maybe you guys can find each other on Facebook. Kimber Keto Life, I was diagnosed at the age of 16. At 17, I had 3 surgeries, one under each arm and one above my pelvic area. They removed 8 pounds of diseased flesh due to HS, and within 6 months, it came back. Yeah, yep, that's it. It always does come back, unfortunately. That's too bad yikes. Man, they were eager to cut you open. That sucks. 16, too. Or 7, yeah. Wow, 17. 3 surgeries at 17 and you were just diagnosed at 16. I bet you had it. Wow. 8 pounds of diseased flesh. Yeah, I'm sure I had that and more. It goes away once the inflammation, systemic inflammation is reduced. So too bad. That probably could have been avoided at least partially, but who's to say? That's why doctors shouldn't be so eager to cut people open. That should be a last resort, in my opinion. But, I'm not a doctor. Thank God. Hydronova, I used to love eggplant. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I did fry it occasionally. But, after I figured out it was a nightshade, I'm like, oh. I don't think it was messing me up as bad as, like, chilies or peppers and things like that. But, yeah. Certainly causing flares. That was a hard one to notice, actually, now I think about it. Andrew Simmons, I'm growing 4 different varieties of cucumbers this year in smart pots. I think I have a total of 18. One died so far. I'm definitely trying to get the seeds out. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, definitely, dude. Maybe there's like a seed remover you can do with that. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but yeah. Or maybe you could, I guess you could, you could juice them. Maybe. Be careful. If you're buying cucumber from the store, it's always waxed, so don't eat the peel. It's got shellac wax on it. That's a nightshade, so just be aware of that too. But yeah, if you're growing them, that's awesome. I might actually try that. It sounds fun. My grandpa was a gardener, so that it means something to me. Marquita, I had HS since 12, but was diagnosed when I had my first surgery at 16, when I got so bad under one arm that the flesh was all black with holes in it. The doctor told me I almost could have died. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that black flesh, I've seen some bad pictures. I had stage 3, but I've certainly seen people that were worse off, and it sounds like you were for sure. Sounds like you were way worse off in a younger age, too. Yeah. I had a bad diet. I had a really bad diet, but there were other factors as well. So I'm sure that pushed whatever it was. Sleep. I'm curious to see what you were eating at that time, like what your diet was growing up and stuff. I usually ask people that, like, what was your diet growing up, especially if I meet like somebody that says they're healthy. You have a did you have a meat-based diet? Or was it like all these refined sugars and stuff? Was it whole foods, processed? I had the worst diet growing up. Like my parents are great people, really great, but they didn't have a clue about nutrition. It was like mac and cheese and tortilla, cheese up rolls or whatever, and like, yeah, casseroles and stuff. But the casserole was as good as it got, it was like frozen potato, just not good. Cereal, boxed cakes, that's pretty much most of it. A lot of dairy. I drink a lot of milk. In fact, I never drink water. I only drink milk and soda. I remember that. Like, is it really that surprising that, we got sick, right? Not for me. Hydronova, saw 15 to 20 doctors, diagnosed myself, and went in to confirm. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. 15 to 20, wow. That's a lot of bad doctors. Hydronova, kept searching, recurrent boils, etc., but couldn't figure it out till I was tunneling and started searching for that. Yeah. I found it on the internet. I found some woman, I think named Carolyn or something. I don't know. I hope I come across her again, but she was talking about, it might have been on a Reddit. She was talking about how nightshades affected her HS, and that's what started off for me. I was like, a food causing autoimmune symptoms, making my symptoms worse. Is this a thing? So yeah, that really kind of sparked my passion. I would have done anything though. God, I probably would have went vegan. You know, maybe. Andrew Simmons, I just told a couple friends last night I have stage 3 HS. Kind of just came up. First time I've said anything to anybody in 15 years as well. That's amazing. Hey, congrats on that. That's awesome. Like coming out and telling people what you're dealing with. That's an amazing thing. I hope everyone gathers the courage to do that. It's a heroic thing to do. It took me 15 years. I wish I'd done it before. I didn't even think people would like believe me. Like I could tell them, but like I was too self-conscious to show them. So I'm like, you know, I dropped hints like, oh yeah, I'm not feeling good or whatever. But you know, they don't understand. They don't understand, especially when you're kids. People don't understand that kind of thing. They do now. They know. But God, when I first, you know how guys are, like they make fun of each other. We made fun of each other like hardcore. So I had to deal with like the HS jokes, like hardcore, and they're great friends, but that's just that's how it was. It's still funny though. I don't know if women are like that so much. But my friends, we enjoy ragging on each other. But yeah, probably not the best thing to do. But I was pretty sensitive about it. But that kind of helped desensitize me a little bit to it as well. You know. Let's see. Hydronova. We should all write books about HS. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. People should hear our story, especially after we see improvements. I would love to get that story out, you know. I want to just tell all autoimmune disease, like just, you know, try to heal yourself naturally, at least before you do other things, you know, at least consider it as an option. It should be at least an option when you go to a doctor, you know. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not saying it's going to be the cure-all for everyone, but I just like it if it was on the table at least, you know, just like, hey, check this out. Jamie Onate, how do you know when you need to limit your fruit intake? If I could, I'd eat fruit all day, but I'm sure that's not possible and need a stopping point while on AIP. Yeah, I feel you. Fruit is delicious any way you look at it. It's not all that natural. I mean, we've changed fruits. Like humans have cultivated fruits to be sweeter and juicier and all this other stuff. So if you looked at fruit before agriculture, you may not see it the same way. So it's kind of a man-made thing, mostly. That's why I stick closely to berries and things like that, because they're a little more natural. But yeah, certainly I limit fruits, even if I can tolerate a little bit of them. Usually I just stay away from them, like bananas. You know, I'm not sure if I can have bananas at all or just a limit. I just don't eat them because they're so high in sugar and carbs, and it's hard to limit things. You know, it's like you open a banana, you're gonna eat the whole banana. You're not gonna eat half the banana. And I live alone, so it's not like I can give the other half to somebody. I guess I could. I used to freeze it and make ice cream out of it too. I did that in before time though, so, and I wasn't in remission. But how do you know when you need to limit your fruit intake? Trial and error, basically. Basically, with all this, it's just trial and error. You know, if you see, especially if you have blood sugar issues, you got to be careful with that. Spiking insulin is by itself can cause autoimmune symptoms. It's not always just the food itself. You know, there are other things that can cause a trigger. Or other ways that foods can cause a trigger, we'll say that. So I just recommend you cutting out all fruits at the beginning, except maybe a few berries, and then adding ones in and seeing what you can take, basically. But basically, less is more. Go from that standpoint, like almost nothing. But berries is a good transition. And if you're just doing AIP, just starting out, and you're eating plenty of fruit, you know, that's okay. Just get used to it, and then, you know, You can't expect people to have the perfect diet overnight or anything. And I'm not saying I have the perfect diet at all. For me, it's working though. And Malia, hey, good to see you. Sorry I missed the live chat. Hey, that's okay. You're always commenting on the vids, and I appreciate that. I see you everywhere. I see you in the Facebook communities as well. Kimber Keto Life, I started having little holes under each arm at around 12, and I was afraid to tell my mom. I hid it for 4 years. I was afraid that I had cancer. When I told her, she was so sad that I hid it. Yeah, my mom said the same thing. She was like, why did you hide this from me, you know? Like, they love us unconditionally, right? Well, okay, if you got a good parent. So yeah, my brother especially, he was hurt that I would not tell him that. And he deals with like eczema, skin issues like that too. So it's kind of all related. Not as bad, like rashes and stuff. Man, I'd kill to just have rashes. I probably wouldn't have changed my diet if I just had like a rash or something. I don't know. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to like rank autoimmune diseases or anything. That's awful. Wow. That's very insensitive, Adam. But it certainly helps with motivation, doesn't it? Marquita, my diet wasn't what it was supposed to be back then. Yeah, mine neither. Mine was the worst. Surviving Hashimoto's, Lola. Your childhood diet sounds just like mine. My mom did the best she could with limited income. I'm glad we know better now and can make better choices for ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, we grew up and the responsibility is ours, and I do not blame my parents at all. We weren't rich, and even if we were, they wouldn't have been eating grass-fed. They wouldn't have been eating, meat-based and getting good quality source foods, we still would have been eating grains and cakes, probably more of it, We just didn't know any better. And you can eat healthy and eat cheap. So there are people that do it. But so it's more of a informational thing, like just not having that knowledge. I think that's why it's important to spread that around, Let everybody know. It's hard doing that without being that guy. Oh, you're eating that? You shouldn't eat that. I hate doing that. I hate people when I eat around people. People kind of know what I do, and they know that I'm a healthy guy or whatever, or I'm into health, and I always feel like they're looking at me and they're thinking I'm judging them what they're eating, but I'm not. Like I just couldn't care less what other people are eating around me anymore. I used to at the beginning, but not anymore. Like people can eat whatever they want. I'm not gonna like police people like that. Only on here. If they come for it on YouTube, then that's their choice. But I'm not gonna push it on people anymore. That's too much work. And I can't even change my parents' mind. I can't get my dad to quit eating sugar or desserts every night. I try to help him find a good transitional food. A food that's just something better. But people are stuck in their ways, and my dad's like 70 years old, so I'm 30. I had older parents. He's just as stubborn as I am. But if he did get it, then he would be help other. He's a preacher and all that, so he'd be able to share it with his flock. Hydronova, that's awesome, Andrew. Yep. Twistisha, oh Kimber, I'm so sorry you had to go through that at such a young age. I'm sorry for any and all those who had it while growing up. Yeah, certainly. Mine started at 13, puberty. Which might be later. I don't know. That might be late. I don't know. Maybe I was a late bloomer. I don't know. Or at least that's when I remember it. Like I started to see bumps around that time. They weren't like full-blown cyst or whatever like they became. So they were very minor, what you would call stage 1. Marquita, nope, in school I hid it, and back then we had to take showers together. Yeah, I did too, but I hid it. I don't think it was as bad. Let's see. In high school it was, but somehow I think you only have to take PE like your first year of high school, if I remember right. So like my freshman year, maybe my sophomore. So I just hit it like, in the creases. Like, I was really fat. God, I was probably like, for me, and I'm not like a super tall guy. I'm like 5'10", so I was maybe 320. I was like 260 my freshman year, I think. So I don't know. It just kept going up. Top weight was 350 though. It might have been more, but that's the last time I read a scale. Um, it probably was more than that, but I'm not gonna say that because I'm not 100% positive. Um, Marquita, and I stayed ready to fight in school to anyone that said anything. Yeah, I wasn't that guy. I wasn't gonna get in a fight. So I remember I got in like 2 fights in school. Some kid punched me in the face. It wasn't a fight because he just ran off, and I just stood there like, why? Why did you hit me? I wasn't a fighter. Still not. It's just not. It doesn't interest me. Got to talk it out. Um, not a fighter, not a lover. Absolutely agree that everyone should share their story and their journey. It's so easy to get lost in thoughts. That's that we're all alone in that battle. But we're not as unique as we think. Yeah, I agree. We're just a dime a dozen. We're all just like, I feel like we're all just this same person living the, different lives. We're like, I look at us like we're like the same entity. We're just split up. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I got like owls outside my window, up in the trees. Tons of owls. They'll try to keep me up at night too. Um, Hydronova chocolate pudding recipe. Yeah. Oh, avocados, tablespoon carob powder, tablespoon or two of maple syrup or honey. That sounds good. I don't do the any natural sweeteners anymore, but I would certainly recommend someone do that if you can tolerate that and if you enjoy that. I kept hearing about that chocolate recipes with avocado. I'm sure I tried that. Actually, I probably had this exact same recipe, but without the sweeteners. I would mix in coconut cream and some grass-fed gelatin as well to thicken it up a little bit. I love coconut cream. I put it on everything. Like I make everything with it. Like it's everything. Um, yeah, man, that does sound good though. Chocolate pudding recipe. Yeah, carob powder is it's a good chocolate substitute. I really do enjoy it. I don't have any. I just ran out like last week, but I like to use that to make mug cakes. But when I don't eat it every day. When I use it, I have to. It's like I either have that or a sweet potato. So it's like which one can I have today? I have to pick my carbs wisely. Blend. Oh, okay. Yeah. I need to get one of those emulsion blenders. That would be handy. I have one of those magic bullets. Is it magic bullet? I think so. Really, really handy. You don't have like to clean a big blender when you're done. Super easy to make sauces and stuff. Lola, I hate saying it like this, but getting sick was one of the best things that happened to me simply because it forced me to make healthier choices to try to heal myself. Yeah, I look at it like the same way. It's a blessing and a curse. It really is. Like, if I hadn't got sick, I wouldn't have figured out how to heal myself, and then I wouldn't be here sharing my story. And honestly, like cancer, like without these warning signals from our immune system, we wouldn't know what's causing inflammation, you know? But people are so out of tune with their bodies today. Like they'll think, a little arthritis is normal or digestive issues are normal. But we have to be in tune with our bodies. We have to really pay attention and observe, I feel like there's so much going on in our day-to-day life. Like, we're focused on our TV or other people or what's going on, stress and all this, but we're not thinking like, how am I feeling? What's going on inside my body, Just my 2 cents. But yeah, healthier choices. Brussels Sprouts says, yeah, I don't blame my parents either. Many sweets and grains, cereal, cake, mini muffins, toaster strudels, etc. Lol. Yeah, it's not a social diet. I always bring my own meals everywhere. Yeah, nice. Me too. Yeah, my parents eat out at almost every meal, and my dad is 73. He sounds like a stubborn guy like mine. You can't change people's minds. I mean, not overnight. They know. He knows. He knows. And he always talks about, today he was talking about trying out keto. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to order this keto book. I'm like, oh, okay. That's cool. Like, okay. He's not as interested in paleo, but he's interested in keto. He heard one of his Christian preachers talking about it on TV. So he's interested. Hey, whatever gets people into it, right? You got to start somewhere. Kimber, time to get some sleep before work. Take care, all. See you, Kimber. Glad you were here for this. Twistisha, best wishes, Kimber. Nice meeting you. Marquita, bye, Kimber. Oh, I don't have to read all these byes. Brussels sprouts, getting sick changed my life. I have a whole different perspective. Much more grateful to be living every day. I felt like I was dying at my worst. Now I work to regain health, and it's great. That's awesome. Yeah, perspective has to change. And perspective sort of comes from like attitude. You know, you got to look at it in a good way. Because if you look at it in a negative way, it's easy to become a victim for sure. A lot of people do that, but that's great. Great attitude. Andrew Simmons, I'm looking to get a vacuum blender soon. A vacuum blender. I'm not familiar with that. Jamie, before I leave, I listen to this podcast, which is great, called I Learned Nothing. Guy Pat Dean looks like you from podcast. Challenge him to be the protector of Manor Road on Twitter. I'll check that out. Sounds good. Guy Pat Dean. Jamie, thanks for the video. Thanks for the videos you make. Appreciate that. HD Sutter. HDE Sutter. Any suggestions for an avocado fat replacement? I'm intolerant. Avocado fat replacer. Yeah, olive oil is pretty good. A lot of people would say it's like high. You should stay away from it because of the omega-6. But even if you eat a lot of olive oil, it's got very low amounts of omega-6. So I mean, you might eat grass-fed beef with more omega-6 in it than you would get in 5 tablespoons of olive oil. So it shouldn't be an issue. So just olive oil. There's palm shortening. I haven't even tried that. Yeah, coconut in all its forms if you're not intolerant. I love coconut. Literally saved my life. Like, that's how I got my calories in. I was struggling getting calories in the beginning, for sure. You got to get those fats in. And with avocados, be careful eating too many because that's also a histamine issue, okay? I would notice that if I eat like 3 in a day, like I might have some issues, maybe. Surviving Hashimoto's. Brussels sprouts, I felt like I was dying at my worst too. My first major symptom was the inability to take deep breaths. Major wake-up call. Yeah, feel you on that one. And especially with weight, I was 350 pounds. I couldn't even breathe. Like, I couldn't lay on my stomach hardly and sleep because my lungs were being pushed in. That was tough. But yeah, when you can't breathe, that's really terrifying. Marquita, thanks for being here and talking about our struggle. It was nice meeting everyone. HS Warriors. See you all later. See you, Marquita. Thanks for the questions. Surviving Hashimoto's. It's all about attitude, about what you're dealing with. A positive outlook goes so far in feeling better. Yeah, it really does. I mean, you almost got to fake. I hate saying that, fake it till you make it, but to become a positive person, you almost have to do that in the beginning. Like, you just it's a choice. It's one choice after another, and kind of you got to make a habit. And then once you make a habit, then you are literally that person. It's how it is with anything, really. Lola, it's all about Hydronova. Damn, I love avocados. Yeah, I know. I limit them, you know. I limit them. But they're great, man. I love cooking with them. I just plop them on top of anything, you know. It's basically a sauce if you just mash it, right? It's perfect. It's perfection. Brussels sprouts. Wow, that's scary. Surviving Hashimoto's. I would think that would cause panic attacks too. I was very out of breath and would just drop to the ground. Standing tolerance was 3 minutes for 5 months. Oh man, I'm so sorry. 3 minutes for 5 months. Wow. Guys, I always think like, oh, I had it so bad. Woe was me. You know, I had this horrible autoimmune disease. But then, you know, I love this perspective and meeting all you people where, you know, you really put it into perspective, you know. I mean, I don't know how you'd live a halfway, I don't know. So sorry. Brussels sprout, yeah, Lyme disease, definitely. There's huge groups on Facebook with Lyme disease. Like I keep reading into it about how people used to think it's like just from ticks, and it's not, and it's from all kinds of different issues, and I just read up on something about, yeah, again, gut microbiome, so it's all related there. But tribal combatives, that's a hard word to say, combatives. I started eating raw liver after watching your video. I love it. Thanks. Hey, appreciate it. You know, strangely enough, raw liver tastes better than cooked liver. Sometimes, if you get a decent quality. It's a weird texture, I know. I'm not telling anybody to go out and eat raw liver, by the way. But if you want to, you know, it's pretty much the most bioavailable vitamin A you can get on the planet, and the cheapest. It's going to make you feel like a superhero. That's what it does for me. Brussels sprouts. No. Andrew Simmons. Sometimes I eat 4 a day. I'll try to cut down. I have 2 trees. Oh, you have avocado trees? I'm jealous of that, honestly. That would be so cool. I don't think I'm patient enough. Like, I would plant them and like, why aren't you growing already? Just grow. You had one job to do. Hydronova by Marquita. Surviving Hashimoto's. Yes, lol. Fake it till you make it. My motto for a while now. Yeah, I just like the way it sounds. It does sound cool. Brussels sprouts. It was getting no answers. I was getting no answers from my doctors. It was a nightmare. It's how all my panic attacks began. Even today, I know when I can't breathe, it's a deficiency, but I panic. Yeah, definitely. I've dealt with panic attacks in the past from anxiety. So I certainly know how it feels. But I think mine was more of a mental thing, maybe. Well, caused by deficiency, maybe. I don't know. I didn't know. And it's hard to say. I haven't been tested for that, so... deficiencies are super common, though. So, again, magnesium might be a good thing to do there. I think I read a thing where it's like most people are magnesium deficient. So, maybe that's a good thing to look into. It works for me. But then it's like you take one thing and then your other electrolytes or minerals are out of balance, and you got to take zinc and whatever. It's potassium and chloride, and I don't know. It's complicated. So I don't want to get to that point where I'm like taking one thing and then I got to take another thing just because I take this thing. So just be careful of taking too much of something. You know, we don't know how it's going to react. So experiment lightly with small doses of things. Lola, Brussels sprouts. It was getting no answer. Oh, okay. Brussels sprouts. Oh, I don't have Facebook. Haha. Yes, my gut is still recovering. Able to work some now, though, and go on long walks. Started with AIP and then went into something called nutritional balancing, which is paleo-ish. Cool. I like paleo-based things, you know, and sometimes we don't have to start with it, you know. Just making progress is great. You know, it's hard to start a restrictive diet like AIP right out of the gate. I definitely get that. HDA Sutter, I'm still trying to figure out how I had Guillain-Barré syndrome back in 2013. I was paralyzed from the neck down for a few months and eventually bounce back. I've read it's an autoimmune response. Wow. Yeah, I've not heard of that syndrome. That sounds awful, though. Paralyzed. From the neck down. Wow. That would be awful. But really, I'm really sorry. Surviving Hashimoto's. I'm getting some magnesium for sure. I'm currently on benzos for anxiety, and I really don't like that. Yeah. Yeah, those are... I don't recommend those for sure. HT Sutter, I took a new nutrient deficiency test, which really has helped me. Magnesium was one of them, of course, right? Yeah, definitely. I don't know, I keep hearing it. There's like huge magnesium groups. It's like, what is it called? It's like the root cause or the root protocol. And it's like based around, adding nutrients into your diet. It's about eliminating things, but also it's mainly about adding things that we're missing in our diet because our soil is, deficient. It's not what it used to be 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago or whatever. Basically because of our, the way we've done agriculture, we've ruined our soil, topsoil. A lot of factors though. Andrew Simmons, when I first started taking calm magnesium, I was taking too much and it gave me diarrhea. Yeah, I've heard that before too. And you got to look at the type of magnesium you're taking too. Magnesium citrate will do that. It's magnesium chelated with, which is like combined with is it citric acid, I believe? And that's usually derived from corn. So you want to be careful with that. You want to make sure it's derived from a good AIP source, which magnesium glycinate, the one I take, is. So that's why I only recommend, how do I get it in the shot? I only recommend this one. Okay. God, it's backwards on here. I think it's the cheapest one too. So I don't know. There might be another cheaper one that's in a package, but you can look around on there. On the Amazons. Surviving Hashimoto's, thank you, Brussels sprouts. I wish you healing as well. It's great getting to interact with other people in a community of people who get it. Yeah. Yep. This is nice. Andrew Simmons, I like the cherry flavored and the raspberry lemonade. It's easy for me. Surviving Hashimoto's, and thank you, Adam, for your videos, for sharing all that with us. This has been awesome getting to know you and live today. Yeah, it has been. I think that's probably a good place to sum this up, guys. I think I'm going to try to end the stream here. Thanks for everyone for listening, and hopefully these only get better in the, over time. But this was fun. I'm definitely going to do this. I'm going to do this probably at least once a week, I'm thinking. But I don't know. I may end up doing it more in the future. I don't know how long this is. I feel like I went on for like 2 hours probably. So you guys are great. Thank you so much for listening in and commenting and asking questions and just being a good community overall. I love you guys. Nice chatting. Yeah, and I do want to do more AIP Q&As as well in the future, mainly probably, but I'll do keto stuff and I don't know, different stuff. So let me know. Leave it in the other comments. Leave in the comments what you want to see and stuff. So, all right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.